And good everybody, welcome back to another playthrough of Steins Gate Zero, live and exclusive here to YouTube. I'm your host, Swishbone, for the remainder of the evening. For those of you who've been here before, whether you've been here for the likes of Danganronpa V3, whether you were here for the many playthroughs of Persona, maybe you were here for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, or perhaps you were all the way back in the Final Fantasy 7 The Forza 4 days, a huge welcome back to all of you, because without you guys, there is no channel. For those of you who've never seen this before, basically we play games live here. We like to do live reactions, a few bad jokes, and generally have some fun together. The chat box is open as we speak, so please get your comments in there. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we continue across world lines in this very strange alternate version of the game. We're going to see exactly what's happening. So we just go to the scene playthrough again where we'd agreed to go shopping with Miyuri and then we've been called to the hospital. Now, of course, this is a different world line as such because we went on a different route when we were cornered in the cosplay shop. So who knows what awaits us this time? Let's find out. Fubuki was at a different location than before. This time it was the AH Tokyo General Hospital High-Tech Medical Center in Yoyogi. It was supposedly one of Japan's most advanced hospitals. According to what I read on the internet, patients with the new encephalitis that everyone was talking about were being gathered here for special treatment. But I also read lots of really bad urban legends about the place, and I was a bit worried about what kind of horror show I'd find there. I mean, what Avian J jumping in saying, "Hi, good evening to you, how are you doing? It's Friday! Woohoo! And you have indeed made it. Pull up a pew and relax as best as you can." But of course, when we arrived it was nothing like that. It was very clean and decorated like a luxury hotel. Mayuri! Ocarine! This way. Kaede and Yuki waved to us as we entered the lobby. Yuki had gotten a message from Kaede as well, and had evidently come right over. Where's Fubuki? She's fine. Yuki gave Miyuri a soft hug and a smile. Kaede bowed her head apologetically. Sorry to scare you. I was kind of in a hurry myself. I should have checked more carefully before I messaged you. What do you mean? How's Nakase doing? I just met her mom in the hospital room, and it doesn't look like her illness has gotten any worse. Then they just brought her here for more examinations or something. Yes, that's what they said. So there's nothing to worry about. So far, all very familiar, isn't it, people? Oh, I'm so glad! Mayuri looks extremely relieved as Yuki continued to hug her. If I remembered right, the last time they examined her, they said it was possible she'd had the disease, but as long as it didn't get any worse, it wouldn't affect her daily life. They just told her to come back for regular checkups. The new encephalitis had arrived in Japan over 6 months ago, but the number of patients was still increasing. And sadly, over here in the UK, speaking of patients increasing, our rates at the moment are higher than ever. We had 93,000 cases confirmed today of the dreaded C19. Yep, volatile waters are coming, people. Fortunately, there hadn't been a single casualty yet. I'm pretty sure that's no illness, though. I was certain that what they were calling as syphilitis was actually something similar to reading Steiner. One time when I went to visit Fubuki in hospital, I had secretly investigated the other patients. I wasn't able to get any proof, but I found out most of the patients in her wing had, to varying degrees, memories of the same war line. Many people have memories of Japan at war.
ふぶきちゃんに会えるかな。
Can we see Fubuki?
それがね、今 MRI で脳の検査をしている最中なんですって。だから病室にいないの。
They say they're doing an MRI to look at her brain right now, so she's not in the room.
そうなんだ。
I see.
でももう少しで終わるみたいよ。ここで待っていてってふぶきちゃんのお母さんが。
But it'll be done soon. Fubuki's mom told us to wait here. Kaede motioned to Miyuri, indicating she should sit down on a nearby sofa.
検査が終わったら声をかけてくれるみたい。
Once the exam's done, she's going to come get us. I let the girls sit down on the sofa and stood next to them while I surveyed the lobby.
すごい病院ですよね。
This is an amazing hospital, isn't it? Yeah. Are you really tired today, Avian? Is it you've been sweat off your feet at work? Because I know that. And oh, weird night's sleep. Yeah, I know the feeling. I woke up at 3 AM for some reason. Managed to get back off straight away, but it's not the point. I don't like waking up in the night.
中瀬さんの家って実はすごい金持ちだったりするのか？こんなところに入院なんて。
Is Nakase's family rich or something? Is she staying in a place like this?
いえ、そうじゃなくってですね。
No, that's not it.
ふぶきちゃんのお母さんの話だと、日本とアメリカの政府がお金を出して新しい治療のプロジェクトを始めるみたいなんです。
Fubuki's mom says that the Japanese and American governments are paying for a new treatment project.
この病院とアメリカの専門病院や研究所が中心になってやるんだそうですよ。
It's going to be centered around this lab and a dedicated hospital in America, supposedly.
そうなのか。
I see. I wasn't sure how I felt about that. If I was right about what this disease really was, it was hard to imagine a bigger waste of money.
お願いします。患者は全員個室にしてください。それも患者同士が接触しないようなるべく離れた部屋で。
Please give all the patients private rooms, and try to keep the rooms as far apart from one another as possible to ensure the patients don't come into contact. So here he comes, the evil antagonist from before, Avian. Is he now the antagonist again?
しかしね、そんな都合よく病床は空いていませんから。
But there aren't that many open rooms.
それでもやってくれないとダメです。患者同士が会話をすることで夢の情報を共有してしまうでしょう。
You'll need to do it anyway. If the patients talk to each other, they'll start to share the dreams, right?
いや、それはそうですが。
Sure, that's true, but...
脳というのはね、他人が見た夢なのに、それに共感を覚えてしまうと、あたかも自分が見た夢のように錯覚してしまう。そういう可能性だってあるのです。
Once a person hears about someone else's dream, their brain can trick them into thinking they had that same dream as well. Across the lobby, I saw an old Japanese doctor in a white coat and a man in a big suit who was frantically trying to talk to him. Oh! I'd seen the man in a suit before. Actually, it was a man I knew well.
教授、レスキネン教授。
Professor Leskinen! Yeah, meanwhile, Alistair Jack, you're feeling the same way, are you? Didn't have a good night's sleep, feeling tired. Really sorry to hear that, mate. It's really not cool. Hope you're feeling better soon. I hurried over.
レスキネン教授、俺です。岡部です。
That's a Leskinen. It's me, Okabe. He must have been wearing his translator because he was communicating with the old doctor in Japanese. Dr. Leskinen's face quickly broke into a smile when he saw me.
Oh, Rintaro!
Oh, Lentalo! His voice was so loud that everyone in the lobby, doctors, nurses, staff, and even the patients turned to look at me. Yeah, Avi was like, him! Pointing the finger straight away. But Dr. Leskinen didn't seem to notice them as he ran over. He was like a giant American football player racing for a touchdown. Wait, Professor! Stop! Stop! My cries went unheard as Dr. Leskinen tackled me and then pulled me up. Then he switched from football player to pro wrestler and he swung me up and down. I felt like I was a little child. There was nothing I could do to resist him as he flung me around. A moment later, he noticed the cold stares of the people around us and finally released me. Oh my, I'm sorry. I was so surprised I got a little too excited. Dr. Leskinen bowed to the people around him in apology.
レスキネン先生、この青年とはどういったお知り合いかな？
Dr. Leskinen, who is this young man? The doctor that Professor Leskinen had been talking to was staring at me suspiciously. Oh, I'm... well... I wasn't sure exactly what to tell him. It wasn't like he was really my professor.
見たところまだ学生のようだが、どこの大学かね？教授と同じ脳科学専攻だとすると。
You seem to be a student. What school are you with? If you're studying brain science like the professor... No, I'm...
彼は9月からビクトゥコンドリア大学の学生ですよ。いずれ私の研究室に来てもらうつもりでいます。
He'll be a student of Mitochondria this September. I'm planning on having him come to my lab. Huh?
おほう、ビクトル・コンドリア大学かね。これは驚いた。
I see. Mitochondria University, eh? That's a surprise. I looked over at Dr. Leskinen questioningly, but he just gave me a mischievous smile. This guy. He really was such a kid.
日本人であそこへ行ける学生なんてめったにいない。大したものだ。
It's very rare for a Japanese student to be able to go there. I'm impressed.
どうも。
Thank you. After the doctor left, I sighed loudly enough for Professor Leskinen to hear me.
今の人は
So, who was that guy?
この病院の院長だよ。
The director of this hospital.
院長
The director?
そんな偉い人相手に堂々と嘘をついたんですか
You just lied to someone that's important.
おや、私は嘘なんてついたかな？
Oh, did I lie?
確かに9月から我が校の学生とは言ったが、何も今年の9月からとは言ってないよ。
I said you'd be studying a student starting in September, but I didn't mean this September. Except you kinda did. You said he'll be a student of Mitochondria University this September. You're meant to be the one who speaks English here, mate. Not Akabe.
それとも何かい？君は結局我が校に来る自信がないのかな？だったら少し残念だが。
Or what? Do you think you don't have what it takes to make it to my school in the end? That's a little unfortunate, but... He really was a little kid, completely shameless. But still, it was hard to hate him.
でも驚きましたまさか教授がまた日本に来ているなんて
I'm surprised though. I had no idea you were in Japan. Meanwhile, Dragon at the Gym are jumping in, saying good evening to all the people, and to your glorious streamer too. Yes, please, keep stroking my ego. Give it a nice pet and a good smooth stroke. How you doing, mate? How you feeling? It had been 5 months since I'd seen him off at Narita. I looked around for Maho, but I didn't see her anywhere.
ウィンタールはどこか具合でも悪いのかい？治療でここに？
Are you not feeling well, Intaro? Did you come here for treatment?
あ、いえ、違います。入院してる友人の見舞いで。
Oh, no. I'm here to visit a friend.
ああ、そうか。それはよか。
Oh, I see. That's good.
その友人にとっては良くないか。申し訳
Well,
ない。
it's not good for your friend. I'm sorry.
あ、いえ。
Oh, no.
それで、教授こそ、日本の病院で何を？
So what are you doing at a Japanese hospital? Dr. Leskinen brought his face close to mine and whispered so that the people around us couldn't hear him.
君も知っているだろう。例の新型脳炎の件だよ。
You've heard about the new encephalitis cases, right?
アメリカ政府の依頼で精神生理学研究所が治療法を研究していたんだが手詰まりらしくてね。
The American government asked our psychophysiology lab to look into it, but they've hit a roadblock.
私も調査に加わるよう大学から命じられたというわけさ。
The university ordered me to help with the investigation. You know what, Jared? No, I don't really have an ego, but it's like, just keep on saying how great I am. Stroke my invisible ego. It's not had much love for the last 20 streams. You'll be fine, ego, don't worry. It's okay.
そうなんですか。レスキネン教授が新型脳炎を。
I see. So you're helping with the new encephalitis cases. Now there was a word I didn't expect to hear. I explained that my friend was here because they thought she might have the disease.
もしかしてその友人というのは中瀬克美？
There's a friend named Katsumi Nakase, perhaps. And even though his voice had to say it the Japanese way, I'm keeping with my he's foreign thing, so I'm going to try and keep the names the Western way we'd say them.
ああ、クリスマスパーティーで会ってましたね。
But I'll probably screw up because I normally do. Oh, yeah. You met her at the Christmas party, didn't you?
実は私が新型脳炎に興味を持ったのもあのパーティーがきっかけでね。
That's right. My interest in this new disease started with that party, you see.
君と克美が揃って倒れただろ？
Both you and Katsumi collapsed, right? He was right, actually. In my case, I've been sent to that otherworld line.
克美には何日か前に再会したんだけどね。私にも何度か噛みついてきてよ。どうしてまた入院させられるんだ？私は元気なのにってね。
I met up with her again several days ago. She demanded to know why she was being sent back to the hospital when she was just fine.
そうでしたか。
I see.
もう少し協力的になってくれると嬉しいとリンタロウからも伝えておいてくれないかい？
Would you tell her to make me happy if she was a bit more cooperative?
ああ。
実際のところキャツミだけでなく全ての患者に申し訳ないという気持ちはあるんだ。
I actually feel really bad for both her and all the other patients. Because it's all my fault, but I'm sorry. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from Dr. Leskinen right now. I'm getting that kind of vibe from him.
我々も日本の医師団も研究を進めてはいるんだけどね。どうにも解せない検査結果ばかりで困り果てているのさ。
We in the Japanese team are doing what we can, but we just don't understand the results we're getting. Dr. Leskinen's usually chipper expression darkened. The man was such a ball of vitality that I hadn't noticed until then, but when his smile disappeared, I could see the wrinkles that had formed on his face from exhaustion. He must have been working hard, like he said.
正直、最初はどの医師もこれほど不可解な病気だとは思っていなかったらしいんだけどね。
To be honest, none of the doctors thought we'd have this much trouble explaining it at the start.
どうしたんだ、リンタロ
What's wrong, Lintalo?
その
Oh, well,
何か気になることでも
is there something wrong?
いえ
No,
俺は医学生じゃないのでさっぱりです。
I'm not a medical student, so this is all outside my expertise. I was just about to tell him about my reading Steiner, but in the end, I couldn't. If my uninformed opinion was wrong, it could cost the encephalitis patients their lives. I couldn't just tell him when I didn't have any proof. And then his face drew close to mine again.
ところで、その克美がなかなか興味深いことを言っていたんだよ。
By the way, Katsumi was saying something very interesting. Huh?
自分たちは病気じゃない。別の世界の出来事を夢で見る能力があるだけだとかなんとか。
She said something about not being sick, about how she was actually experiencing another world in her dreams. Nice when you're playing Nier Automata on your laptop as we speak. That's nice split attention there. You got me on one screen and 2B on the other. You have taste. I like it. I told her not to say anything about it. Could she not help it? This was bad. We might start to doubt her sanity.
中瀬さんはそのとても想像力がたくましいというか SF とかアニメとか大好きですから。
Well, Nakase's got a very vivid imagination, maybe. She loves sci-fi and anime.
他の平行世界を感知できる力なんて多分趣味の影響で口にしただけじゃないかと思います。
She probably just said she has the power to experience parallel worlds because she saw it in some show somewhere.
実は俺もそういうことを言っていた時期があるんですよ。
I remember that I used to say stuff like that. Yes, you're good, are you, Dragon? Well, that's good to hear. Nice to know. I tried my best to come up with excuses, but Dr. Leskinen still seemed concerned.
だけどね、私も治療プロジェクトに参加して驚いたんだが。
But still, I was really surprised when I started participating in the treatment project.
確かにこの病の特徴として多くの患者が夢を共有する不可思議な現象が起こっているんだ。
One of the strange things about this illness is that many patients share the same dreams. And oh wow, nice corpse party. God, that's a game I've not actually played. I know a lot about it. It's one of the many I'm tempted to do in the future, though my next stream that I'm planning to do is a bit of a crazy one. I'm planning to endure Yandere Simulator. That could be interesting.
集団幻覚に近いのかとも思って今調べているんだけどね。
I'm assuming it's similar to a mass hallucination.
でもなんだろう、こんなことは初めてでね。脳科学的には今のところ解が導けない。
But what do you think? I've never seen this before. From a brain science perspective, I just don't have an answer right now.
正直非科学的という言葉が一番しっくりくるくらいだよ。それこそ平行世界とか前世の記憶とかね。
To be honest, unscientific is the word that seems to best fit. Like parallel worlds or memories of a past life, you know?
そうですか。
I see.
君も克美からいろいろと話を聞いてくれると助かるよ。
It would help if you talked to Katsumi too.
医者に言えないことでも友人になら話すだろうしね。
There are some things you can't say to a doctor, but that you'll tell your friends.
はい、一応心がけておきます。
Sure, I'll ask her, I guess.
さて、リンタロウ、それはそれとして確認だ。
So, Lintalo, that aside, I have a question for you. Tatsaleskinen was looking over my shoulder.
クリスマスパーティーの時にも感じたんだけれど、君のガールフレンドたちはキュートなお嬢さんばかりだね。
I got a sense of this at the Christmas party. But your girlfriends really are cute, aren't they? Here we are, the harem is real, people. Akabe's become the latest harem king. Huh? I turned around and saw that Miyuri, Kaede, and Yuki had all stood up from the sofa and were looking at me. When they saw Datsaleskinen was looking at them, they waved.
やはりあの中に恋人がいたりするのかい？ユキ、カエデ、マユリ、ルカ、それともカツミがそうなのかな？
So, are any of those girls involved with you right now? Yuki, Kaede, Miyuri, Luka, or maybe Katsumi? No, they're not. Because Suzuha is best girl.
No.
What? His words were so surprising I couldn't think of anything to say. Maho would often call this middle-aged man a mischievous boy, and that was exactly the look he had on his face, and it's not wrong to be fair, look at that. That's the proper shit-eating grin that says, I'm gonna get you in trouble and there's fuck all you can do about it.
いや、別に無理に聞かせてくれとは言わないよ。君のプライベートを詮索する気はないからね。
No, I won't force you to tell me. I don't want to pry into your private life. I just want to know everything about you.
ただ、まあ、可愛い教え子にちょっとした土産話をと思っただけさ。
But, well, I'd hope to have something to tell my favorite student. Huh? Tatsaleskinen turned to walk away before I could figure out what he meant. He probably means Maho.
それじゃリンタロウ、私はもうちょっと院長と話をしないといけないから、これで。
Alright, Lintalo. I've got to talk to the director a little more, so I'll be going.
できればユキたちにも一人一人ハグしていきたいところだったが、次回にとっておこう。彼女たちによろしく。
I'd love to go around all those girls and give them a hug too, but I'll save that for next time. Tell them I said hello. Yeah, no. Not happening. No way.
あ、はい。
Oh, sure. Mayuri and the others came over to me as I watched him go.
今の人レスキネン先生
Is that Tatsaleskinen?
ですよね。どこかで見たことあると思った。
Yeah, I knew I'd seen him somewhere
ア
before.
メリカに帰ったんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
I thought he'd gone back to America.
おかわり？
Oh, come in. There was no way I could tell the girls what Tatsaleskinen and I were just talking about. Yep, because Daru would not be happy. Quick save here while I can. As we're now back on the train. I don't remember this scene. After Fubuki's exam was over, we went to her room and listened to her complain. And then the visit was over. Just like Tatsaleskinen had said, she looked fine. She told us she was ready to leave the hospital and jog all the way home. Mayuri and the others were relieved, but I felt worried. Did I need to talk to Tatsaleskinen about reading Steiner after all? But how would I explain it? Ah, Dragon, you say you've realised you're the only one watching. Not by my stats, you know, but then again, my stats might be wrong. We have a silent crowd sometimes, and that's fine. People like to chill out and relax. To my dulcet tones. Why? It might be a better idea to talk to Maho and have her explain it to him. I couldn't come to an answer right away. We said goodbye to Kaede and Yuki at one of the stations on the way back. Before we got to Ikebukuro, I remember to take out my phone and open the web browser. I went to At Channel, eager to see how she'd responded to the bait I'd spread this afternoon. I put my hand over my mouth to stifle the noise. Oh god, that was a jump scare then. Mayuri's face with those beady eyes like that's appearing out of nowhere. That's literally almost a bleeding horror scare, that one. No worries, Queen. Evening tea, you're poking in while you're waiting for someone. That's fantastic. Take it nice and easy. Mayuri had been standing next to me, and she was leaning over at my screen. I fished her up, alright. Her response. It was Fitzgerald and Lorentz who based their hypothesis on that experiment. Einstein himself said it had nothing to do with his theories. You don't even know that. How ignorant are you? I didn't think it would go this well. The timestamp was from just 30 minutes ago. I decided to respond immediately, using the same name, Salieri's neighbor. You're the ignorant one. In a letter written before his death, Einstein said that he was aware of Michelson and Morley's experiment. I posted it and reloaded the thread. There was already a response from her. I know that, duh. All he said was that he knew of the experiment, obviously. Einstein used the Fiesel experiment. I can't read the rest of it because it's hidden down beneath the text. The time lag between the posts was just 21 seconds. Stellar abbreviation to come up with the theory of relativity. It was kind of irritating to have her come after me so hard. It was as if she was insulting me as a person. Well, I was the one who'd deliberately written the mistakes, so I should have expected it. You can't just let anyone else win, can you? I see you haven't changed a bit. Are you Mozart? The Fred's other residents were probably confused. Everyone except for her. Yep, go on then. This will be the lingo for other users, I'm guessing. Yep, regularly users of the service primarily refers to frequent commenters on anonymous internet message boards. That was me circa 2009. And then internet boards kinda died off for me, for personal reasons. Mayuri had been watching our exchange, and looked at me confused.
知り合いなの？その栗ご飯とカメハメハさんって。
Do you know this Curry Gohan and Kamehameha person?
まあな。多分古くから付き合いのあるやつだと思う。
Yeah, there's someone I've known for a long time, I think. Now, then, how would she reply to the nickname Salieri's neighbor in the post I just wrote? I was curious, but there wasn't an immediate response like before. The train reached Ikebukuro Station.
Okari, 着いたよ。
Oh, Karine, we're here! The train slid into the station and stopped. I reloaded the thread one more time before the doors opened, and there was a very short response from Curry Gohan and Kamehameha. Who are you? There could be no doubt now. This Curry Gohan and Kamehameha was Chris. And we're going into internet forum mode. Oh, meanwhile, we've got the best girl. Yay! It was a very hot day in 1998 when Suzuha said goodbye to Shina Kagari. She'd gone to get food and water from a local store, and when she'd come back and opened the hatch, Kagari was inside screaming. I think I've read this scene before. Oh, come on! How's this stupid thing work? Yeah, I have read this scene before. This is the problem when you go back and do alternate endings, people. She looked inside and saw that Kagari was slamming her tiny hands down on the control console.
お前、何をしてるんだ?
What are you doing? Huh? Kagari shrank back when she saw Suzuha.
これはその
I'm not. This isn't what it looks like.
答えろ。
Answer me.
なんで
But. The only problem I've got here is I don't know if there's any way to potentially skip past it. Unless I just literally hit A button repeatedly. Plus, I don't know if anything's changed.
鈴葉お姉ちゃんがいなくて真っ暗で明かりもつかないし狭くて怖くて苦しくて
I mean, I couldn't think anything would change because this is in the past, not the future. I woke up and you were gone, and it was dark and the lights wouldn't turn on, and it's so cramped and scary in here.
だからかがりドアを開けたくて
So I tried to open the door.
それであちこちいじってるうちに
And then when I was fiddling with it, this happened. Kagari started to cry.
ごめんなさい鈴葉お姉ちゃんごめんなさいでも本当に怖かったんだだから
I'm sorry, big sister Zaha. I'm sorry, but I was really scared.
そうか
I see. Suzuha relaxed her guard. Kagari had a condition from her time as a war orphan, and she hadn't fully recovered yet. You kinda don't. Mayuri had once told her that she got very frightened in dark and cramped places. It wouldn't make sense if waking up in the dark caused a panic attack. And the time machine could only function with Suzuha's biometric authorization. Someone of Kagari's size wouldn't be able to break the console either.
お前は時間移動のショックで気を失ってたんだよだから休ませておいたんだけど悪かった
You passed out from the shock of time travel, so I wanted to let you get some rest. I'm sorry. Suzuha grabbed one of Kagari's tiny hands to help her up, and then led her outside the time machine.
暑い
Wow, it's so hot!
かがり約束するんだどんなことがあっても操縦席のスイッチに触ったりするないいな
Kagari, promise me you won't touch the switches on the control console no matter what. Okay? Okay.
じゃあ私は仕事にかかるからお前はその辺で休んでるんだ飲み物と食べ物は適当に食べていい
I'm gonna get started. You go and rest. Have some food and water if you want. Suzuha handed Kagari the provisions she brought, then went inside and poked her head into the cargo space under the control console. She connected the IBM 5100 she'd stored there to a portable terminal she brought from the future. By all appearances, it was an early 2000s cell phone, but inside of it was a miniaturized quantum computer from the year 2036. Of course, future Daru had made it himself. When she booted up the IBM 5100, rows of numbers started to appear on the screen.
何をするの
What are you doing? Kagari was looking in from outside the machine.
2000年問題は勉強したか
Did you study the year 2000 problem?
施設の学校でちょっとだけ結局何にも起こらなかったんでしょ
I studied a little at the orphanage. In the end, nothing happened, right?
表向きはね
That's what everyone thinks.
公表されてないけど実は当時あれのせいでいくつかの地域や国に深刻な問題が起きたんだ
It wasn't made public, but at the time, a lot of places and a lot of countries had serious problems because of it.
そうなの
Really?
問題だったのはこの IBN5100 というコンピューターなんだよ
The issue was this computer, the IBM 5100.
これには古いプログラム言語が搭載されてるんだけどそのプログラムの問題点を技術者たちが修正できなかった
It's got an old programming language on it, and the engineers weren't able to fix the problem. Dragon, when you say you've seen something horrible in the Mortal Kombat 11 group, well, it's Mortal Kombat 11. How can it be possibly horrible? And if it's not safe for work or not safe for the stream, don't post it in the chat.
というより、そんな言語で書かれた重大なプログラムが存在すること自体、全く知られてなかった。
In fact, they didn't even know that an important program existed that was written in this language.
第三次世界大戦はタイムマシンの開発競争が発端なんだけど。
The race to begin to develop the time machine was the beginning of the Third World War, but
もしかすると2000年問題で発生したある事象とそれに付随する対立こそがもっと深い原因である可能性がある。
there's a chance that something that happened during the year 2000 problems and the divisions that resulted from that were a deeper cause. She didn't expect a 10-year-old like Kagura to understand this, but she didn't feel like taking the time to explain.
しかも西暦2000年というのは特殊な年でね、すべての世界線が一旦一つに収束してしまうらしいんだ。
And the year 2000 is a special year, you see. All the world lines temporarily converge here.
それに関連してこの問題があらゆる世界線の因果に重大な影響を引き起こすかもしれない。
Yeah, Dragon, you see that a lot where people put a nasty name as their user and it's just pure bullying. You see it all the time. I remember once getting someone banned from Xbox Live because their name was essentially the combination of two UK racist organisations, and somehow no one had spotted it. I reported it immediately. Next thing I knew, they were banned.
私たちが目指してる狭間の世界線、シュタインズゲートも例外じゃない。
The world line in the gap that we're trying to reach, Steins Gate, is no exception. She looked down at the terminal connected to the IBM 5100.
だからこれは2000年問題を起こさないようにするための修正プログラムなんだよ。
So this is a patch program to keep the year 2000 problem from ever happening. Right now, the terminal was converting to patch into language used by the IBM 5100. The next step was to spread this program all around the world in the form of a virus, and the year 2000 problems that this era's engineers missed would completely disappear. The word connect appeared on the terminal's subscreen.
OK、つながった。
Okay, it's connected. And absolutely, yeah. Part of the reason I don't play online anymore, Dragon, is for that reason. Some people are just edgy and over the top in ridiculous ways. Avian, I didn't realise there was an anime and a manga for Corpse Party. I thought it was just a game. I'm intrigued now. I'm really intrigued. She'd been told that Japan in this era, ADSL was still in the test phase, and most normal users connected to the internet by low-speed dial-up using ISDN. 56k internet. Yeah. Back in the 90s, I once left my computer running overnight to download a music clip of a 4-minute song. It took 8 hours. And now I'm here, uploading in 1080p at 60 frames per second, and you're all watching it with endless prop with no real issues. How the world has changed. For the better. But in major city areas like Akihabara, universities, labs, and some big computer companies were starting to use fibre optic broadband. Some of them were even using wireless local area networks. Suzuha cracked her way into one of those. Dad had laughed when he'd said that with 2036 technology, cracking late 20th century network security was a joke. But he'd been right.
でも未来を変えちゃったらかがりたちがいた未来の世界も全然変わっちゃうんじゃないの？
Yes, Avian, it was worth it, and you can still find the video in question on YouTube to this day. It was one of the first anime music videos I saw. It took the iconic anime Evangelion and fused it with the song Engel by Rammstein. If you ever want to see one of the best edited videos ever, watch that. It still holds up 20 years later. It's absolutely brilliant. That's interesting, Dragon. You say that you've seen people with modified Xbox gamer tags, even though it's normally impossible. I suppose if you've hacked the computer, you could do it, because apparently if you jailbroke any machine, you'd be able to put custom software and logos on it. So if someone's been jailbreaking it, that's probably how they do it. But if you change the future, would they change the world we're in? Surprisingly, Kagari had gotten the gist of what Suzuhara just told her.
そういうことだ。
That's right.
もうあの世界は存在させない。私たちはシュタインズゲートを目指すためにここへ来たんだから。
I refuse to let that world exist any longer, so I've come here to reach Steins Gate. Huh? Suddenly. Right, Dragon, the reason it took that long is very simple. 56k internet. At that time, YouTube wasn't a thing, MySpace hadn't even properly taken off, and actual websites that hosted videos had stupidly low bandwidth. Like, it used to be a privilege to have maybe 30 megabytes of bandwidth in the entire month, so you could only do it via peer-to-peer. And you'd sometimes get lucky and get 5.7 kilobytes a second. Right now, I'm getting 500 megabytes. And at that time, 5 kilobytes. That's it. 5 kilobytes a second. It took forever. Suddenly, the uneasy look on Kagari's face vanished. It was as if her soul had left its body. Suddenly her face was expressionless, and her eyes were wide.
声。
Vice,
神様の声。聞こえる。
I can hear God's voice. And yeah, as I say, Dragon, honestly, it's a totally different world. Believe it or not, you could play online gaming via the Sega Dreamcast on that same speed. These days, you might get, say, 4 to 10 ms ping. Back then, I was getting 1,000 ping. I had the worst lag possible in online lobbies. It was hilarious.
かがり
Kagari?
ダメだよ。よくないよ。ダ
You can't do that. It's not right.
メなんだよ、鈴葉お姉ちゃん。そんなことしちゃいけないんだ。
You can't do that, Big Sis Suzuha. You can't.
おい。
Huh? Kagari was acting strangely. Suspiciously, Suzuha reached her hand out towards her, but she slipped past Suzuha's hand, and quicker than any child should be able to move, she slammed her shoulder straight into Suzuha's body. Suzuha was caught completely off guard. That's how fast it was. Kagari's shoulder hit her in the solar plexus. She bent over and collapsed onto the seat. Kagari tore the terminal out of Suzuha's hands. The cables connecting it to the IBM 5100 were ripped out, and errors displayed on both screens.
お前、何を
What are you doing? Kagari didn't answer the question. Instead, she grabbed the backpack that Suzuha had placed onto the seat and spilled its contents onto the floor. There were MREs, spare parts, clothes, and a semi-automatic pistol. Suzuha couldn't believe it. Kagari was going to try and pick it up.
やめろ
Stop it! She forced herself to ignore the pain as she jumped on Kagari's body. But another unbelievably powerful body slam knocked her back. Something cold was pushed right up against her brow.
動いちゃダメ
Don't move! Kagari's tiny hands weren't shaking at all as they clutched the semi-automatic pistol. In the space of an instant, the safety on the gun had been flipped off. That's when Suzuha realised that this wasn't just a temper tantrum. So not the 2 times that she's knocked you flat on your ass, despite being, what, a third of your size. Only now you realise it's not a temper tantrum? Are you serious? Suzuha was the one who taught her how to use a gun. That's why she knew that Kagari was perfectly calm.
正気か今すぐ銃を下ろせこんな真似はやめろ
Are you insane? Put the gun down, now! Stop doing this!
やめるのはお姉ちゃんの方だよ
You're the one who needs to stop!
何
What?
世界を変えちゃいけないんだお姉ちゃんはおかしいこと言ってる
You can't change the world! You're not making sense! There was no hesitation in her eyes. Instead, Suzuha saw only resolve.
じゃあこのまま戦争が起きてもいいっていうのか
Do you want the war to happen then?
そんなのわかんないよかがりは元の世界に戻りたいだけだもん
I don't know anything about that! I just want to go back to my own world!
ならもう無理だ
Then that's never going to happen!
私たちはタイムマシンですでに過去に干渉してる世界線だってずれてしまってるはずだあそこに戻れる可能性は低く
We've already used the time machine to interfere with the past! The world life's changed! There's almost no chance we can go back!
うるさいうるさいうるさいかがりはママを絶対に助けるんだ
Shut up! Shut up! I'm going to save Mommy!
この世界を消すなんてダメだよ絶対にやらせないから
You can't erase this world! I won't let you! Kagari turned the gun towards the IBM 5100.
やめろ
Stop! Before Suzuha could stop her, she yanked down on the trigger, again and again.
やめてくれかがりやめろ
Stop it, Kagari! Please, stop! And then Kagari jumped out of the time machine, and Suzuha never saw her again. So, we set up for this point, and if it's the same scene I remember, it'll be interesting if we see that particular moment. There's only one way to find out. On every night that passed, she remembered Kagari. Suzuha had spent some time looking for her when she'd first come to this era, but in the end, she'd never found anything. But Shina Kagari, who was now 22 years old, was here in Akihabara. Suzuha was sure of it. And as I've already deduced before, I'm pretty sure, boom. So, Queen, welcome back. And you're saying that left bumper should skip, should it? Oh, it does. Itari was sitting at the screen next to Suzuha talking to his monitor. The monitor was displaying a video chat screen. On the screen was a young girl dressed in slovenly... No, a proper, fully grown lady. Oh, wow! It's Maho, who's looking very much like a zombie. Morning. It was 8:30 PM at the Future Gadget Lab in Akihabara. Meanwhile, Victor Conjurer was an hour off from the usual due to daylight savings time, and it was 7:30 in the morning.
ヒヤジョーさん大丈夫
Hyajo, you okay? I also love how they've got around the copyright here. Drop the S and change one letter. That is the laziest dodge of a copyright I've ever seen. Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
この時間だし寝起きっしょ
It's early. She probably just got up. Maho was a mess. Her hair was never combed right, but her eyes were bloodshot and her gaze was wandering. If you say that's how you look in the morning, that's exactly how I look in the morning. I'm like, fill that with the strongest coffee you can get. If it can't kill a horse, it's not enough. The spots under her eyes were too dark for the little bit of makeup she'd applied to cover them up. Her cheeks were sunken, which made her look even tinier than usual. I can relate. On top of all of that, her skin was terribly pale. She looked like something out of a zombie movie. Yeah, I'm not reading that line. Sorry, Daru. Normally, she would have gotten upset at Itaru's joke. But either she'd gotten used to it, or simply given up. Because she'd said nothing. How are things going there?
なんとかオカリンが分解しちゃう前の状態に組み立て直したを。機能はほぼ再現できてると思われ。
I managed to rebuild it to how it was before Okarin took it apart. I think it does most of what it did before. Uh-oh, I think the phone wave, name subject to change, is back in action. Itaru glanced towards the development room, past the curtain in the back of the lab. Right now he was working with Maho to recreate what Akabe called the time leap machine. I was kind of right, it is the phone wave, the time leap goes with the phone wave, doesn't it? It's not going well.
なんか安定しないっつうか、普通の電子レンジになっちゃうんだよね。
Yeah, it's just not stable. It ends up being a normal microwave. I see. I wonder what's wrong with it.
オカリンにそこんところの話を聞ければ違ってくるんだけどな。
If we could ask Okarin, I'm sure things will be better.
無理だよ。私たちがこんなことしているって知っただけで怒鳴り込んでくるよ。
We can't do that. He'd get mad if even though we were working on this. And yes, Queen, it does. I did actually briefly skip the dialogue, but I've not seen this scene before. I've not done the Skype scene.
あの人を説得するのは容易じゃない。
See, here you go. It's not skipped it. In fact, it had been almost a year since she'd first tried and failed. There was a moment of silence. Yep, she has started snoring at the other end. You can hear it in the dulcet tones.
ってマホタン、もしかして寝てんじゃね？
Wait, Maho-tan, are you asleep? That... Maho's whole body jerked, and she almost fell out of her chair. Embarrassingly, I've done that in a meeting. Ah, so your stream started behind. That makes more sense now. I was going to say, I thought, yeah, I've done it. I've already skipped forward a bit.
危なかったわ。出勤前なのに二度寝してしまうところだった。
That was close. I almost went back to bed before I left for work.
つうか、頑張りすぎだお。無理して体壊したら意味なくね？
You know, you're working too hard. If you get sick, it only slows us down, you know.
このくらい平気よ。というか、これだけやってもまだ天才にはかなわないんだから。
I'm fine. And actually, after all this work, I'm still not as good as the real genius. Yeah, that's a look of real worry there, isn't it? That really is.
そんなことないと思うけどな。僕はさ、マホタンだって十分天才だと。
I don't think so. You know, I think you're a genius.
休めなら不要よ。
I don't need you to make me feel better.
岡部さんの言っていたタイムリープ。こんなにヒントはあるのに、 未だに解を見つけられないんだもの。
I've got all these hints about the time leak machine that Okabe told me about, and I still can't find the answer.
記憶データなんて膨大なものをどうやって圧縮して過去へ送ることができたのか。
How does she manage to compress all that memory data and send it to the past?
クリスはそれをやってのけたっていうのに。
Chris managed to do it, but I... Maho seemed upset. It was obvious even through the monitor.
ああ、ごめんなさい。愚痴をこぼしている場合じゃなかったわね。
Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't the time to complain, is it?
今日の報告、他に何かあるかしら。なければそろそろ出勤しようと思うのだけれど。
Is there anything else to report for today? If not, I'm going to head to work. So of course the difference here is that Maho is still in the States. She's not in Japan at this moment. At least I'm assuming these are concurrent with the time that obviously Okabe started dancing with Kurisu on that channel.
もう一つある。
There's one more thing. Suzuha looked at Itaru.
前から調べてほしいって頼まれてた件について。
About what you'd asked me to look into.
何か分かったの？
Did you find something?
はっきりしたことはまだ。
Nothing clear yet.
そう。
I see.
あちこちのネットワークに強引に侵入したりとかギリギリまではやってみたんだ。
I've done a bunch of breaking and entering in a bunch of networks, and taken things about as far as it's safe to do so.
別に責めたりしないわ。今分かっていることを教えてちょうだい。
I'm not blaming you. Tell me what you know. I mean, Chaotic jumping in saying late but here. Hey, good evening to you. You've actually missed a few repeat scenes to be fair, so you've technically not missed too much at the moment. You've kind of come at the right time.
いやむしろ激しく罵倒とかしてくれて OK なわけだが。
Sorry, Daru. This time you're on your own.
父さん。
Dad!
早くして時間が来ちゃうから。
Hurry! I'm running out of time.
ほいほい。
Sure, sure. Itaru opened a different window on the monitor. He displayed one of the text files in it. It was a record of the information Itaru and Suzuha had collected.
まず魔法団たちがホテルの地下駐車場で襲われた事件。
First, the incident where you were attacked in the hotel basement.
警察の発表だと新興カルト教団の男が違法薬物を使った末にって話になってるけど。
The cops say it was some kind of crazy cultist on a drug trip. It kinda wasn't though, let's be honest.
あれ間違いなく嘘だわ。
But that's definitely a lie.
嘘。
A lie?
犯人の身元は警察発表通り某大学の准教授。
Just like the police announcement said, he was an assistant professor at a college.
これはいいんだけどさ、そいつが宗教団体に所属してたっつう事実がこれっぽっちも出てこないんだよね。
And that's fine, but I can't find anything linking him to a cult at all. Yes, the cultists are not responsible this time, people. The anti-maskers and the anti-vaxxers aren't to blame, who knew? Sorry, too soon. Way too soon.
公安が隠し持ってる教団員のデータにもアクセスしてみたから確定。
I tried accessing public safety secret data file on the cult, so I'm certain of it.
捏造ってことなのね。
So they're lying.
アットチャンネルとか見てるとさ、信者っぽい人が時々書き子するんだよね。教団は無実だとか陰謀だとか。
If you look at that channel, you'll sometimes see people who look like they're from the cult, claiming that they're innocent and the whole thing is some a
そうす
conspiracy.
ると一瞬でものすごい数の教団アンチが湧いてきてフルボッコなわけ。
Whenever that happens, the haters show up instantly and they beat the daylights out of the guy. Oh yes, the haters are amongst us. And oh damn Queen, so you've been hit with restrictions, are you? Over here, we had 93,000 cases today. No sign of restrictions coming yet. Not aside from the really bizarre ones that are already out there. So, I kind of feel your pain on that one. Meanwhile, what's the tip for haters then? Go on. Oh, you beat the daylights. One-sided battle in which the target gets the daylights beaten out of them, kind of like me in high school. I was like that. I was the one who was beaten by the halos. Then we have people on the internet with negative opinion about a certain person or thing. They'll go wherever fans of that person or thing gather and deliberately write things to provoke them. They often get into heated debates with fans. Yes, I've seen that in the Love Life fandom. Anytime I mention Takami Chika is best, I get met with a wall of hate. It's hilarious. Yep, we've already gone through that one. These are the different kind of internet connections. And then finally, Imakita Industries, which is net slang used. I just joined this thread and I'm not sure what's going on because someone explained it to me in 3 lines or less. So it's a play on Imakita Sangyu, which can mean either I just gotta give me 3 lines, or Imakita Industries. Yeah, definitely not something we get in the West. Doesn't make sense to us.
しかもそのアンチどももっともらしい偽の証拠とかガンガン出してくるんだよ画像付きとかで
And the haters always have this really well-made fake evidence, digitally altered images and stuff. So the haters use Photoshop. Que surprise.
いくらなんでもあれはちょっと異常
There's no way that's a coincidence.
そうなの？私そのアットチャンネルというのをあまりよく知らないから。
Really? I don't know a lot about this ad channel thing.
アットちゃん含めてさ大抵の大手サイトには工作員が張り付いてるもんなんだよ
Most of the big sites has agents on them, including ad channel.
しかもビジネスとしてバイト代もらってね朝から晩まで24時間ぶっ通しで
And they get paid like it's a business. So they do it 24 hours a day from morning till night. Sounds like the easiest job in the world, sitting in an internet forum and spout a lot of shite. Most people do that for free. Or they do it when they're starving off from the real job and the boss isn't looking.
情報操作プロパガンダだね
Information control. Propaganda.
政治家や官僚なんかもネット世論の誘導に利用してるしそれを専門にしてる会社もあるくらいだお
Politicians and bureaucrats using to influence public opinion on the net. There are even companies that specialize in this sort of thing. Yeah, Kelly, say it reminds you of the CCP. It does have that kind of undertone, but we do see a lot of Western companies, don't we, who have their own accounts on social media to put spin and turn things around. Doesn't always work though. The public are smarter than that.
なるほど。それならわかるわ。そのあたりはアメリカも日本も同じね。
I see. I can understand that. America has the same thing.
でも工作員なんて僕からしたら IP 変えてもバラバラなんで
These agents could change their IP, but they can't hide from me. In other words, they can get past their IP address backtrace bollocks.
それでチェックしてみたらあの事件すごい人数の工作員が投入されてるっぽい
So I did some research, and there's an insane amount of agents assigned to that case. Oh, the 24 Cent Army, not a name I'm familiar with, but I wouldn't say you're wrong, Chaotic. Again, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what it's like over in China, because a lot of Western stuff is banned. When I was in China, I couldn't use my phone at all. It just simply wouldn't connect anywhere, because it wasn't a Chinese provider. Unless I had a VPN, I wasn't using my phone. 2 weeks without the internet. You've no idea how much that sucked. Ooh, we just had a quick save happen.
ど
Interesting.
こからそんなに金が出てるんだよってレベル
It's to the point I have no idea where the money to pay him is coming from.
そう。
I see.
父さんのバイト先が襲われた方の事件は
What about the attack on your workplace, Dad?
そっちも同じ
Same deal. The police had called it a fight between foreign mafias trying to expand their territory in Japan by attacking a random cosplay shop on the 7th floor of an unknown building. That's how foreign mafias work, people. They don't go for the banking sector or gambling anymore, they go after random cosplay shops. The media never questioned the story at all, and even people on the boards of the famously skeptical ACT channel believed everything they were told. Of course, there was no mention whatsoever of Russia or CERN.
でさ試しに目撃者を装ってロシアの特殊部隊を見たってすれ立ててみたんだよね
So I decided to post a thread where I pretended to be a witness and said I saw some Russian special forces.
そしたらまあすごいのなんの炎上しすぎてびっくりしたお。
And wow, was I amazed. Talk about some serious try-hard trolling.
あん時は思わず工作員の本名から会社名まで全部晒してやろうかと思ったっつうの。
I got pissed enough that I almost doxed the agent's real name, his company name, and everything else. And believe it or not, apparently in the Danganronpa community, people get doxed because they say one character isn't their favourite. I've never seen that myself, but I've actually heard reports of it, and if that's true, it's unacceptable. Absolutely. Evidently, he'd been really irritated. It was rare for Atari to get so angry. Well, maybe it wasn't, she decided.
つまりどこかから圧力がかかっていて幕引きにされたってことね。
In other words, pressure came down from somewhere to shut down discussion.
さすがは自由の国日本だけのことはあるわ。
That's Japan for you. A real free country. That's the point, actually, yeah. Maybe the news didn't say exactly where it was. That's true. We saw it, they didn't.
アメリカも似たようなもんじゃね。
America's no different, is it?
違いないわね。
You got that right. The two of them smiled at the joke.
つうわけで僕としてはお手上げ。
Anyway, so that's all I can do.
そう、
I see.
それで十分よ。調べてくれてありがとう。
That's enough. Thank you.
ヒアジョーさん、研究所から来日の許可は下りそうなの？
Yacho, you think you got permission for the lab to come to Japan?
それがレスキネン教授の助手として連れて行ってもらえるよう何回も申請しているのだけれど却下の連続なのよ。
Well, I keep sending requests to go as Dr. Leskinen's assistant, but they keep turning them down.
レスキネン教授は今こっちに来てるんだっけ？
Dr. Leskinen's here now, right?
ええ、新型脳炎の調査でね。
Yeah, he's researching the new encephalitis. That's what he's told you. We know different. Since it had nothing to do with artificial intelligence, it seemed Maho wouldn't be allowed to go along.
いいわ。どうしてもダメと言うならこっちにも考えがあるもの。
But that's fine. If they keep turning me down, I've got ideas of my own.
どうする気？
What are you going to do?
まさか上官の命令無視してでも正義を貫くとか？そして悪に捕まってしまうんですね。わかります。
Don't tell me you're going to defy your superior officer's orders to drop the case, and then you'll get caught by the bad guys.
ねえねえマホタン、殺せって言ってみて。できればすごく悔しそうな顔で。
Daru, there's no need to break the tension here. Stop the Chuny Bu bollocks. Now.
Huh?
Huh?
父さん、
Dad! Scissorhands' hand went for her back pocket.
させん。
Sorry. Utara's shoulders slumped as he apologised. Lately, she's been able to put a stop to Utara's terrible jokes just by doing that. It's a nice little threat, isn't it? It's like, Dad. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Researching AI but doing the procedure on them, because it always makes you sort of recomputing thoughts, exactly. But she's clearly not meant to be a part of that. That's above her pay grade. She wasn't sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing that she knew exactly how to handle him. Yeah, that implies something I don't want to talk about.
まあ、とにかく近々そっちへ行くわ。
Well, anyway, I should be there before too long.
わかった。日程が決まったら連絡を。
Okay, tell us when you've got a date.
それとヒアジョーさん、出勤するならもう一度鏡を見てからにした方がいい。
Oh, and Hyajo, if you're going to work, you should take another look in the mirror first. Just before they ended the call, Scissorheart decided to warn her. Eh? Maho stood up and walked towards the closet without turning off the camera. She vanished from view, but a moment later... She must have seen how terrible she looked, because she let out a very unfeminine scream. So it turns out that my actual voice there was probably closer to the thing than they were intending. They relaxed for a moment after turning off the video chat. Oh. It skipped a few seconds there, but then... It was after Maho had gone back to America that she'd volunteered to help Scissorheart and Itaru with the time machine. That meant that when Hashida Itaru completed the time machine 25 years from now, Hiyajo Maho must have contributed in some way. So that's an interesting shift in a line that we didn't know. That obviously Maho has been part of it all this time. So that's kind of useful. You can do like skip using the triangle as well. But
あんまり未来のことを言うのはまずいんだけど、父さんの仲間にそんな名前の人いなかったんだよね。
So I think I'll be able to do that for scenes I've not seen before, which will mean we don't repeat the scenes, which is kind of useful. I know I shouldn't say too much about the future, but there was nobody by that name helping you, you know?
そうなん
Huh? Really?
ということはさ、どこかのタイミングで開発メンバーから抜けるってことなんじゃないかな。
Which probably means she left the team at some point.
自分の意思なのか、それ以外の外的要因なのかはわからないけど。
I don't know whether that was of her own free will, or due to some external factor.
少なくとも開発の主要メンバーじゃなかったと思う。
But if nothing else, I don't think she was a part of the core team.
そうなのか。かなり頼もしい人だけどな。
I see. She's pretty handy to have around, though.
こんなことを言いたくはないけど、どこかのスパイという可能性もある。
I don't really want to say this, but there's a possibility she might be a spy.
いくらなんでもマホタンに限ってそれはないよ。
What? No way, not Maho-chan of all people. You didn't exactly suspect Kiryu Moeka either, did you? Let's be realistic here.
ごめん。
Sorry.
でも、そういう可能性もあるっていうことだけは頭に入れておいて。
I just want you to remember it's a possibility. And it could be the consequence of Scissorheart time travel and exactly bringing Maho into it. Also, let's not forget Kagari. Kagari could be the reason.
言ったでしょ。第三次世界大戦前の情報戦はもう始まってるんだ。
I told you, the war of information that comes before the Third World War had already started.
どっちにしろ、マシンの秘密が無駄に漏れるのは困るよ。それだけは徹底するよう、ちゃんと注意しておいてよね。
Either way, we can't let anyone else find out about the machine's secrets. Just make sure you're very careful about that. Yeah.
で、この先のタイムマシン開発はどう進めていくつもり？
So, how are you going to work on the time machine going forward? They say chaotic. This is the issue, isn't it, with time travel stories? It's like at some point another variable had to come in to account for something else. Terminator 2 is a classic example. Terminator 2 shouldn't actually be possible because of who John Connor's parents are. But somehow it is, because without John Connor, Terminator 2 couldn't happen. It's the same paradox. It happens in all time travel movies.
やっぱオカリンの協力がないとな。
We really need Okarin's help.
結局そこなんだよね。オカリンおじさん、やっぱり無理なのかな。
That's the thing. I don't know if we can persuade Uncle Ocarine.
こうなったら力ずくで。
I might have to do it by force.
前にそれしようとして失敗したのはどこの誰だっけ？
Who was it that tried that before and it failed? Scissorheart pursed her lips. Even with a gun in his face, Akabe Rintaro still wouldn't get in the time machine. To be honest, Suzuha was out of options. Yeah, that's exactly it, Chaotic. Well, at least with this game, you've got the constant world line shift, so it's one of those, each world line changes and progresses in different ways. Let's say, going back to the original game, when you think about it, there's one thing that happens that kind of makes the game impossible, but then it explains it as the lines go further on. So there's definitely something coming, there must be. She stifled a sigh. It didn't do any good to let herself get down.
そういえば、母さんとはうまくやれてる？
Come to think of it, how are things with Mom?
私、そっちの方も心配なんだ。
I'm more worried about Dad.
大丈夫？私が生まれてこなくなるような事態にならないよね。
Is everything going okay? I'm still going to be born, right?
なんつうの？タイムマシンよりもなんだい？
Oh, well, is that more important than the time machine?
ちょっと。
Hey! Suzuha stormed over to Itaru.
困るよ、父さん。
You can't screw this up, Dad! Y-
パパ、頑張るからね。
yeah, Daddy's gonna do his best, okay?
いっつも口ばっかり。結局、例の映画のチケットも無駄にしちゃったんでしょ？
All you ever do is talk. You even wasted those movie tickets we gave you, didn't you?
あれはさ、オカリンと吹雪氏が倒れちゃったじゃん。
It's strange, it's not skipping straight forward, yet I'm sure I've done these things before. That was because Okarin and Miss Habuki collapsed, you know.
その後、お見舞いとかでバタバタしてるうちに映画がそりゃああれだ。マヨシとフェイリスターに頼りきりなんて男らしくないっしょ。キリ。
で、自分で何か行動に移したわけ？
Yeah, I should be trying to skip this, but I'm trying to figure out where the backlog is. Because all this seems very familiar. Yeah, those dialogues are no different than before. Absolutely positive. Yeah, it's all the same dialogue.
何しに？
いや、実は夕食がまだっつうか、今夜も徹夜になりそうだし、遅くならないうちに買い出しようと。
I actually haven't eaten yet. I'm probably going to be up all night again, so I want to get there before it gets too late. Still hunched over, he pointed towards the development room. He was pointing at the phone wave, name subject to change, Unit 02. That was put together, but still undergoing testing. Say, it is slightly different, but there's not much in there that's new. Because that part is the order, so like make sure you do things, eat things properly. That's all the same, but now this part is different because we didn't talk about the phone wave. So I'm going to leave it from here for now.
睨まないで。なるべく太らないようなものを食べますんで、何卒お許しを。
Ah, don't glare at me like that! I'll eat as healthy as I can, so please forgive me!
バニラ。
Yep, there's the ice cream. Vanilla. Huh?
私、シャワー出たらアイス食べたい。バニラ。
I want ice cream when I'm done with my shower. Vanilla ice cream.
わかった。庶民がなかなか口にできない高級なやつをいっぱい買ってきてあげる。
Okay, I'll go buy you a lot of really top shelf stuff.
いっぱいはいらないよ。一つでいい。
It doesn't have to be a lot, just one thing is fine.
そう、イエスそう。
Sir, yes sir! That was enough to cheer Daru up. He took his wallet and ran out of the lab. And as you say, Chaotic, yeah, that part definitely was different, so I'm going to keep it going from here for now.
やれやれ。世話がかかるんだから。
He's such a handful. She had just about taken off her jacket so she could take that shower. But... Yep, here we are. Scissor! Itaru had come back into the lab.
どうかした？
Where is it?
階段のところにさ、こんなの落ちてたんだよね。
I found this on the stairs. Yep, it's the return of the Upa. Itaru showed her a keychain he was holding. It was a round anime character whose colour had faded to a smoky green. It was an Upa.
誰のかわかる？
Do you know whose this is? Chaotic, I don't know. That's what I'm interested to find out.
まゆ姉さんじゃないの？
Big Sis Mayu's, probably. She leaned forward to take a closer look, and then felt like she was experiencing deja vu. It's a glitch in the Matrix, people. It's so glitched that it's back in 5 days.
このウーパー、どこかで。
I've seen it somewhere before. She'd seen it before. She couldn't really remember when. But her internal alarms were going off. This keychain was extremely important. Upas were common enough that you could find them almost anywhere. The plastic edges had worn down. The paint was faded and coming off in places. There was no dust, there were no stains. Instead, it shone brightly as if its owners had put a lot of effort into taking good care of it. The chain was so old that parts of it snapped off. That was probably how it got dropped. This part reads quite
どこだ
familiar.
っただろう。どこかで見た。
Where was it? I've seen this before.
まゆしに見せてもらったとか？
Did Miyushi show it to you?
そうなのかな？
I don't know. She stared at the green Upa in Itaru's hands, and then, in her mind, she heard a young girl scream.
ママがずっと大切にしてきたウーパのキーホルダーだよ。かがりちゃんにあげる。大事にしてね。
This is Mommy's Upa keychain. I'm giving it to you. Take good care of it, okay? She gasped. A feeling of indescribable terror raced down her spine.
まさかこれ
This can't be!
かがりのか。
Kagari's! That was when she'd last seen it. August 13th, 2036. The day she'd gone into the time machine. That's when she'd seen this Upa. It was older and more worn now, but the more she remembered that day, the more certain she became. This was the Upa that Mayuri had given to Kagari. She'd seen Kagari holding it and crying herself to sleep many times before.
かがりってもしかして未来のまゆしの娘？
Kagari? You mean future Ms. Mayu's daughter? Yeah.
見つかったん？
Did you find her?
いやでも向こうはこっちを認識しているんだ。
No. But she knows where I am.
つまりどういうことだってばよ。
What do you mean?
あいつこのラボを監視してるんだよ。
She's watching this lab. Satisfied, she headed off to take a shower. I still don't understand why she does that. You've pretty much been left a calling card by your enemy. They know where you are. Why are you stripping naked to go for a shower? Get the fuck out of there! Am I missing something? Ever since then, her careful efforts to defend the time machine had paid off, and she hadn't seen any sign of Kagari. But she'd never thought she'd be watching the lab.
いやちょっと考えれば当たり前のことだったんだ。
No. It would have been obvious if I'd given it any thought.
あいつは私たちがシュタインズゲートに到達するのを阻止しようとしてる。
She's trying to stop us from reaching Steins Gate.
この世界をなかったことにしたくないと思ってる。
She doesn't want this world to end.
ということは私だけじゃなく 父さんもマークされてる。
Which means she's watching not just me, but you too.
え、僕？
Huh? Me?
まあ父さんの命に危険はないとは思うんだ。
Well, I don't think your life is in danger. Probably.
世界線の摂理を信じるなら父さんは少なくとも2036年までは生きるはずだし。
If you believe what we know about how world lines work, you live till at least 2036.
ただシュタインズゲート到達を阻止するために父さんの研究の邪魔はしてくるかもしれない。
But she might come to interfere with your research, so we can't reach Steins Gate. A lot of bad things have been happening around Suzuha, Itaru, and Akabe Rintaro. There was some possibility that the final target was Itaru.
これからは用心のために私がいない時には必ずドアに鍵をかけておいて。
It's an interesting point, Chaotic, where you're not sure why Kagari doesn't want the world as it was known to end, because she'd seen her mama die. I can only assume she wants the idea of not being erased from being her daughter, because that orphanage scene would never happen. I'm guessing that's what Kagari's interpretation is. From now on, just to be safe, lock the door whenever I'm not around.
わかった。
Oh, okay, got it.
オカリンおじさんや母さんやマユ姉さんたちが一緒にいても絶対に開けっぱなしはダメだよ。
Even if Uncle Okarin, Mom, or Big Sis Maya are here, don't leave it open.
気休めかもしれないけどドアチェーンもかけた方がいい。
It might not help much, but make sure you use the door chain, too.
でもさ、オカリンやマヨシならともかく、アマネシと二人きりの時にそんなことしたら、なんか別の意味で怪しくね？アマネシに変な誤解されないかな？
You know, Okarin and Mayashi are one thing, but if I did that when I was alone with Amanishi, don't you think that she'd get the wrong idea?
それは確かに。
That's true.
もしそれで嫌われでもしたら、我が家のピンチだお。
If that makes her not like me, my whole family could be in trouble. Cesar groaned softly, unsure of what to do.
父さんがもっと早く母さんと恋人になってれば何の問題もないのに。
If only you'd gotten to be her boyfriend sooner, there wouldn't be a problem.
で、結局そこへ話が戻るとか？
Wait, we're back to that?
とにかく注意だけはしておいてよね。
Just, be careful, okay? Cesar decided to keep the green Upa keychain. She softly ran her fingertips over it as she stared at it.
なあ鈴葉、かがりたんって血はつながってないけど、マユシの娘なんだよね。
Hey, Suzuha. Kagari-tan's not related to Mayashi, but she's still her daughter, right?
そうだよ。
That's right.
あのマユシに育ててもらった子が人を襲うような恐ろしい人間になるのかな？
Can someone raised by Mayashi grow up to be the kind of person who'd assault someone?
なんか鈴葉の話とイメージが重ならないっつうか、もっと優しくてホワホワしてて可愛い女の子になってるんじゃないかなとか思ったり。
I just can't imagine it. From what you've told me, I'd expect her to be a kind, easygoing and cute little girl. I'm going to quickly do a quick save here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and skip forward. Because again, a lot of this seems quite familiar. Yeah, that's the same as well. Suzuha sighed as she took her shower. Yeah, this scene's no different either. The huge scars, yep. Right, so this is where the fight scene happened last time. Let's see if anything's changed. And Chaotic, I think that's a pretty good estimate. It'll take Daru a long time to get with Yuki. It's an anime trope. Relationships seem to take forever. The second she left the shower room, she realised something was wrong.
おかしなま
Yep, that's all the same as well. Oh, this is the same. So, unfortunately, one of the most exciting parts of the game is being skipped forward. But it looks like there's nothing new here. Based off the controls I just had explained in the chat. Thank you, Queen.
Yeah.
And then we switch again. This time we're back to Akabe. So let's quickly do another save on another slot and try the same thing again here.
毎回毎回どの国へ行って
Oh,
も
you see, that skipped me past
時間
messages.
がかかって仕方ないわ
Right, hang on a second, I'm reloading. That skipped me past messages. Dude's been saying for days that the heat island effect might make this the hottest summer in years. And then on the first day in July, the arrivals lobby at the international terminal of Narita Airport was filled with foreigners and Japanese passengers returning home.
すごい人だね。どんどん増えてるかも。
Look at all these people! I think there's more now than there were a minute ago.
日曜日の空港を侮ってたにゃ。
I didn't expect the airport to be this busy on a Sunday, Nia.
見逃すなよマユリフェリスなんせ相手はとにかくちっちゃいからな
Don't miss her, Mayuri, Faris. You know how tiny she is. Ah, it's from Lukaku. Sorry, I can't go today. Go on, I'll suck up to Luca. It's fine, no problem. Really? Huh? Why? No, please tell Maho I said hello. Sure, got it. Oh, oh god. That's hilarious. The three of us were waiting for someone here. We've been there almost an hour.
オカリン、今の問題発言は彼女に見つけざるを得ないぞ。
Alkarin, I'm gonna have to tell him you said that.
冗談だやめてくれ
Please don't. It was just a joke.
でも、なかなか来ないね。
There's no sign of her though.
やっぱりサプライズでこっそり出迎えようとしたのが間違いだったのかにゃ。
Maybe it was a mistake to try and surprise her by meeting her at the airport, Nia.
せめて何時の便で到着するのかぐらいは聞いておくべきだったな
It's strange seeing Ferris without the maid uniform. It really is strange. It's cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm not used to it. Nice theory there, Chaotic. Very nice theory. All we can do is watch and wait. We should at least have asked what time she was arriving. We hadn't told her that we were coming to greet her. And so all we knew was that she was arriving at Narita on an afternoon flight. If I'd known we were going to have to wait so long, I would have tried to get the arrival time out of her. There was a stream of passengers flowing by us, but no sign of the person we were waiting for. And yeah, Dragon, those cat ears are quite big, aren't they? So Ferris Nyanyan certainly dials up the queue. Just as I was starting to wonder if we'd missed her because she was so small, she finally appeared. Or more precisely, I saw a giant travel suitcase rolling all by itself away from the gate. And from behind it, I heard a voice I recognized.
まったくな。パスポートの偽造なんかしてないわ。なんなのよ。
Christ, I did not fake my passport! What is wrong with people?
毎回。どの国へ行ってもいちいち調べられて時間がかかって仕方ないわ。
Every single time, no matter what country I go to, they always have to check it and it always takes forever! I can actually kind of sympathise with Maho here. One time, me and a friend went to Japan together and customs checked our bags. And After mine was checked with no problem, I turned to the next belt to see my friend, and he'd brought over his own tea bags in a vacuum sealed pack. And I'm not kidding, despite it being vacuum sealed, I saw a member of the Japanese customs doing this. As if they were trying to sniff it for drugs. And yes, Jenny, I do indeed have a new Love Life cosplay. It was Chika Takami's cosplay for Water Blue New World. I need to finish it off. There's a few things I need to do. One is my weight and two is my makeup. But yes, that is one of my new cosplays. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked it. I felt adorable. All you people on stream now who have not seen it are like, oh god, no, give me the eye bleach. I walked up to the suitcase and gave it a pat.
Hiajo-san.
Hiajo.
Huh?
Maho had been leaning forward and pushing the suitcase as hard as she could. Her mouth hung open when she saw me. Swap!
久しぶり。無事入国できてよかったな。
It's been a while. Glad you were able to make it past customs.
あなた
You! Oh, look at the blush on the cheeks there from Maho. She's like, don't embarrass me like this. I've not missed you, honest.
なんか随分やつれてるな。大丈夫か？
You look really pale. You okay?
大丈夫に決まって。
Of course I'm okay.
そうじゃないわ。どうしてここに？
Wait, never mind that. What are you doing here?
今日の昼に来るって話してただろ。だから驚かせようと思って迎えに来たんだ。
You told me you were arriving this afternoon, right? So I decided to come surprise you.
そうなの？それはどうも。
You did? That's... thanks. For some reason, her voice became really weird the moment she saw me. Was my being here really that much of a surprise?
でも秋葉原駅までは行けるから改札口に迎えに来てくれればいいって言っておいたのに。
But you know, I told you I can get to Akihabara Station on my own, and to meet me there. To be fair, getting to Akihabara is not hard if you know what train to get out of Narita Airport. Because there's about 8 different lines and they all go all over the place. Some can get you there in half an hour, others take 2 hours. Research in advance, people. Or talk to me, because I've been there many times.
まあいいじゃないか。せっかくだし。それに君一人で本当に秋葉まで来られるか心配だったから。
Oh, come on. You've come all this way, so it's the least I could do. Also, I'm not sure you can really get to Akihabara on your own.
失礼ね。私はそんなに頼りなくないわ。
How rude! I'm not that helpless! Miyuri and Ferris came up as well.
魔法さん。てってれー。
Maho! Doo-doo-doo.
て
Doo-doo-doo.
れー。
Doo-doo-doo.
会いたかったにゃ。魔法にゃ。
Maho-nyan, I missed you! And it's a chaotic. I'm deliberately trying to avoid saying too much, but I think she was trying to sneak in as well. I don't think she expected him to be there. But he's here. She has to suck it up now. As Mayuri grabbed from Maho's hand, Ferris walked up and gave her a big hug.
まゆりさんもフェイリスさんもお久しぶり。
Mayuri, Ferris, it's good to see you.
二人もわざわざ迎えに来てくれたのね。ありがとう。
You came all this way to welcome me? Thank you.
ちなみにこんな場所で大声でマホニャンと呼ぶのはやめてくれないかしら。
By the way, can you not yell Maho-nyan at the top of your lungs in a place like this?
なんでかわいいのに。
Oh. They're getting even more painful. Why not? It's cute.
周りを見なさい。みんなが笑っているでしょ。恥ずかしいのよ。
Look around. Everybody's laughing, right? It's embarrassing. To be fair, it looks like everybody around doesn't even have a face from what I can see. I don't know if that's just me.
おにゃそうかにゃ
Meow. Is it, yeah?
Paris really sticks out after all. I mean, let's be fair, that's fine, but the pink hair, the cat ears, you are going to find yourself getting a lot of attention. Says the guy who's cosplayed Amy and other flamboyant characters in the past. While we've been waiting here, all the foreigners have been pointing her and yelling, "Cat ears! Cat ears!" Some had even asked for pictures. I've never done that in Japan. I'm definitely not lying.
Joe さん、荷物俺が持とう。
Yeah, Joe, I'll take your luggage. And Chaotic, I'm glad you share my cringe, because that one was bad. Why, Niot? Seriously, come on.
あいえありがとう
Oh, thanks.
でも結構急な来日だったよな。
Still, this was a really sudden trip, wasn't it? It was only a few days ago that I'd found out she was coming.
今回もレスキネン教授の手伝いなのか？
Are you here to help Dr. Leskinen again?
あその
Oh, well...
Maho was fidgeting and glancing up at me. The glancing up makes me wonder how small she is next to Akabe. Because I don't... Unless there's character bios somewhere, I actually don't know what her height is.
岡部さんはレスキネン教授とはよく連絡を取り合っているの
Are you still talking to Dr. Leskinen very often?
ああ、教授ずっとこっちで研究を続けてるだろ。時々食事に誘ってもらったりしてるんだ。すごく光栄だよ。
Yeah, he's still over here doing his research, right? Sometimes he invites me out to dinner. It's a big honor.
そう
I see.
まずいわね
That's bad.
まずい。何が？
Bad? Why?
あいえこっちの話よ
Oh, nothing. Nothing you have to worry about. Yeah, nothing at all. Moving on, moving on.
I don't know why people don't realise that makes them more suspicious, but what do I know? She really was acting weird. Say, Chaotic, if I didn't realise Akabe was 6 foot tall. That's really, really big, so... Oh, wow! So, Akabe's 6 feet, and Maho is 4'6". As a fellow giant, I'm 6'2". She'd be about here on me. She wasn't like this when I saw her last winter. Was she tired from her trip? Or was she seeing us here that much of a surprise? I mean, even 5'10" is still a colossal difference. That it'll be at least about here. For those of you who can't see on the camera, I'm basically pointing at my shoulder blade.
今回は教授の手伝いではないの沖縄の親類のところへ行く予定なのよ
I'm not here to help the professor this time. I'm visiting some relatives in Okinawa.
でもせっかくだからその前に秋葉原にも寄ってみようかと思って
But since I'm here anyway, I decided to drop by Akihabara first.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, by the way, Okinawa is very far south. Very far from Tokyo. So you would definitely need a connecting flight. Unless, of course, you're in a certain van being driven by a police officer. And then you can let them do all the work for you.
そうか。沖縄か。
I see. Okinawa, huh? For a moment, the name of that place brought back visions of that nightmarish time. You feel short now, Avian? Oh dear. As I say, I'm about 6'2", somewhere in between that and 6'1". All the work on my knees has made me a little bit shorter, but not by much. After I collapsed on Christmas, I was sent to another world line where I'd spent a month fleeing to Okinawa.
いいね沖縄。一度でいいから行ってみたいな。
Okinawa? That sounds so nice. I'd love to go there.
マユシーの学校は修学旅行は沖縄じゃないのよ。
You didn't go there on your school trip, Nia?
マユシーのところはね、北海道だったよ。
We went to Hokkaido.
フェイリスはハワイにゃ。
I went to Hawaii, Nia.
Did you attend Shujin Academy, Faris? Were you there for when I took Best Girl to the beach?
海外だ。アロハ。
Wow, a foreign country. Aloha.
And the Futaba's like, they got to him. Putting aside the girls and their talk of school trips,
じゃあヒアジョーさんは東京にはそんなにいられないのか。残念だな。
so Hyajo, you're not staying in Tokyo that long.
そうね、そういうことになるわね。
Huh? Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be. You're right.
秋葉原にいる間のホテルとかは決めてあるのかにゃ。
Do you have a hotel in Akihabara, Nia?
まだよ。これから安いビジネスホテルでも探すつもり。
Not yet. I'm going to go look for a cheap business hotel.
And that might sound crazy what Maho's doing, but I actually stayed in a capsule hotel for a week. Surprisingly comfortable. I am Mr. Giant tonight with seeing Chaos with that, because apparently that's 5-5. I am Mr. Giant, it would seem.
だったらこのままフェイリスのお家に来るといいにゃ。この前のお部屋自由に使ってもらって構わないにゃ。
You can stay my place. You can use the same room you used before, Nia.
でもそんなの悪いわ。
What? But I really couldn't.
またそうやって遠慮するんやから。
Oh.
フェイリスは大歓迎だにゃ。
Don't worry me about it. I'm always happy to have you, Nia.
Oh god, I'm sorry. I can't take that line, sir. I can't take the knee about seriously. I can't do that with the cutesy voice. I'm sorry, people. That line is too much. I'm out of here. And she's even blushing like she's proud of it as well. That's what makes it even more cringe. Bless her. She's still funny.
だけどそんなに甘えるわけには。
But I really couldn't.
だったらこれでどうかにゃ。お部屋を無償で貸し出す代わりにフェイリスのお店でほんのちょっとだけお手伝いしてもらうのにゃ。
Then how about this, Nia? You can stay for free, but in exchange, you have to do a little bit of work at my cafe, Nia.
お店？
Your cafe?
メイクインニャンニャンだね。
May Queen Niandian, right?
まさかそれってあの猫耳のお店？
Maho, wake up. She's got them right fucking there. You can't be that much of a zombie. You really can't.
You can't mean the place where they wear the cat ears.
その通りにゃ。
That's right, Nia.
この時期は猫耳メイドのみんなはコミマの準備でいろいろ忙しいのにゃ。お休み取りたいって泣きついてくるんだにゃ。
All my cat ear maids are busy with Kamima preparations right now, Nia. They come to me crying and asking for time off, Nia.
つまり深刻な猫耳メイド不足なのにゃ。
In other words, there's a serious shortage of cat ear maids, Nia.
なのにゃ。
That's right, Nia.
というわけでマホにゃんどうかにゃ。
So how about it, Maho Nian?
どうかにゃ。
How about it, Nian?
Yeah, true. Actually, I get quite bad jet lag, to be fair, Queens. That might be a point. but I don't get such bad jet lag that I can't spot these. I've never been that knackered.
お断りします。
I refuse. What?
なんで
Why not?
なんでって当たり前でしょ。私に似合うわけないわ。
Why? You know why. I wouldn't look good in those things.
似合うよ絶対に可愛いと思うなマユシーは
You sure would. Mayushi, sure you'd look great.
意義なしだにゃオカリンもそう思うにゃ
No objections, Nya. Ocarine, you think so too, right, Nyan?
And Okarin's like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm out of this one. And he would be correct to take that stance. It's very rare that I agree with Okarin, but on this one, nope. Hang on the fence.
ああ、きっとファンがつくんじゃないか。
Oh, I guess I'm wrong on this time. Okarin, you let me down. You let me down. The one time I give you praise, you let me down. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm sure she'd get plenty of fans.
ファンなんてそんなお世辞は嫌いよ。
Fans, I don't like being flattered.
別にお世辞じゃないんだけどな。
I'm not flattering you, though. Oh! I hope you're wearing a steel cup around your ball sack, Okarin. Because you're getting hit right in the crown jewels now. I'm gonna watch.
だとしたら視力検査にでも行ってくることね。
Then you need to go to an optometrist and get your eyes checked.
にゃにゃ赤くなったにゃ
Nya Nya, she turned all red.
なってません。
I did not.
マホニャンはもっと自分の魅力に気づくべきだと思うにゃ
I think Mahonya needs to realize how attractive she is, Nya.
You say not one of those fans, Queen? I'm not so sure.
マユシーが男の子だったらキュンってしちゃうのです
Yep, if Mayushi was a boy, she'd be in love.
だからそんなことないと言ってるのに。
I'm telling you, that's not true.
ヒアジョーさんは多分そのもうちょっとなんというかおしゃれとかしてみたらいいんじゃないかな。
Oh, no, 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 no. Okarin, you are trying to do the 100-meter dash for a minefield. Stop. Jam on the brakes right now. Sir, this is not even a red alert. This is a white alert. You are in the serious, dangerous territory here. I think you should probably, I don't know how to say it. Put a little more effort into your appearance, maybe.
そうすればもっとこう
If you did, I'm sure you'd look more... I was trying my best to sound encouraging, but just ended up sounding like a real jerk. There's no change there, of course. This is the kind of bullshit I came out with all the time, and I've evidently not learned my lesson. And now I've got Ferris Nyanyan smiling, smirking me, saying that she's getting ready to give me a tongue lashing, and she would be... correct. Yeah, Queen, that's fine, but I get the feeling that the vast majority would not agree with that sentiment. Of course, she was annoyed.
私は今のままで十分よ。研究が第一なんだから。
I'm fine as I am. My job as a scientist is my first priority.
Oh, chaotic. No, no, don't excuse him. Don't come up with the excuses in the chat. She'll come to find you. Oh wait, that's Monica. We're not playing the game with Monica in.
でもそれじゃあ好きな人とかできたらどうするのにゃ
Bet.
手に気持ちを伝えられなくて困っちゃうにゃ
What if you find a guy you like, Nia? You won't be able to show him how you feel, Nia.
Oh.
That senpai will be mine. He has no choice.
大丈夫よ。そういう人なんてできないと思うから困ったりしないわ。
I'm fine. I don't think it'll ever happen, so it doesn't worry me.
She gave a sigh that was a little too deliberate.
ごめんなさい。時差ボケと飛行機の疲れでちょっと。
Oh, I'm sorry. The jet lag and the trip have got me a little tired.
わかるにゃ。時差ボケって結構辛いんだにゃ。
I know the feeling, Nia. Jet lag is rough, Nia.
リムジンを用意してあるから、マフニャンは眠っていくといいにゃ。
I've got a limo ready, so you can catnap on the way, Nia.
リムジン？
A limo?
Ferris had rented a white limo to pick up Maho. She really did go overboard. Well, to be fair, when I was in America, I had a black limo pick me up from a motel to take me to the airport. I regret nothing. All the regular people in their cars, and I'm there like a king, laying in the back of a limo drinking beer. It was amazing. That was 9 years ago. Where has my life gone? But thanks to that, Miuri and I were able to enjoy its big, comfy seats on the way to Narita Airport.
なんなら、フェイリスが膝枕してあげるにゃ。
You can rest on my lap if you want, Nia.
Oh no. That pose and that phrase.
それとも、マユシーの膝がいいかにゃ。
Would you rather rest on Mayushi's lap, Nia?
マユシーはオッケーだよ。
Mayushi's okay with that.
結構よ。子供じゃあるまいし。
I'm fine. I'm not a kid.
でも傍目から見てもだいぶ疲れてるってわかるな。そんなに研究が忙しいのか。
But I can tell you're really tired though. Are you that busy with work?
それはまあ掛け持ちしているわけだから。
Well, I've got 2 projects going on.
掛け持ちというとアマデウス以外にも何かやっているのか。
Dragon. I'm not going to say anything here. Mainly because I've not been given the option to rest on Scissorhar's lap, so I can't really comment. 2 projects. You're working on something besides Amadeus? She quickly put her hand over her mouth.
それは企業秘密なの。
That's, well, it's classified information.
そうか。それは悪かった。
I see. Sorry about that. It was true that American university labs had a lot of stuff like that going on there. I'd heard there were a lot of industrial spies. If she wasn't careful about what she said, she might get fired or worse. It was a mistake on my part to even ask.
そういえば
Come to think of it,
橋田さんは今日はどうしたの？
where's Hashida today?
あいつなら今日は人生をかけた大事な用があってな。
He's doing the most important job of his life right now. Queen, you're not wrong. Cesar would probably deck me if I tried. You're not wrong. You're really not wrong. And as I say, Dragon, it's cool. I'm just saying. I've not got anything to say on it because this is a house bash girl. That's my opinion, and my opinion is correct. And all the comments are going to be priming up the flame now for that, and I'm like, bring it.
人生をかけた？
The most important job of his life.
タル君は今デート中なんだよ。
Has he actually gone through this? He actually plucked up the courage.
Dara's on a date right now.
Maho's shock was almost comical, and to be fair, who could blame her?
私本当に疲れているのね。 ひどい幻聴を聞いたわ。
I must be really tired. I'm hearing things.
いや、そう思うのも無理ないが。
No, I can understand why you'd feel that way, but
本当にデートなのです。
He really is on a date.
信じられない。嘘でしょ。あの変態が。
What? I can't believe it. You kidding me? That pervert?
and indeed, absolutely, Queen. It does what matters is Akabe's opinion, and we all know what his choice is. Lines of computer code. No, that's Daru. That's Daru with his harem game, isn't it? Even Maho was calling him a pervert. Daru had said he was talking to Maho a lot too, and I could just imagine what their conversations were like. But actually, if Daru didn't do his best today, it would ruin the world's entire chain of causality. In that sense, Daru's date today was an event with universe-spanning implications. And now we're going, speaking of, we're going to Best Girl, and this is where the date is the one in the diner. And I get the feeling I'll be able to skip this, I think. Let's find out. I'm just going to read the first couple of dialogue lines just to see if it's the same scene. About half the seats at Go-Go Curry were full. It was Sunday, but it was also after 2 p.m, and so the lunchtime rush was over. Suzuha was sitting at the restaurant's far edge, a baseball cap pulled down her face. Yeah, it does look to be the same scene. Because the problem is, like, I was skipping forward in the last scene at the airport. That was a brand new scene, and it skipped a lot of it. This all looks the same so far. Yep, that's the scene where they start talking about the big platter, however it was called. Now the bottom bumper's the phone, Queen. So the top bumper on the left brings up the backlog. That does a quick save, I think. And then that one brings up the phone, so it will be that bumper there. Yeah, that's where Suzuha gets busted, so this scene's completely the same as it was on the previous scene. The previous stream, sorry, even. Because I can quickly use the backlog to my advantage. Yeah, see, it's all about the same thing, isn't it? If we quickly go there, the dialogue's not changed. Or at least I don't recall it changing too much. Now, this scene was where they had the conversation about whether Yuki would stay. Yeah, did something to offend him? Did he do something wrong? Again, that scene's not changed too much. Then there's something about the theatre, which we knew as well, so that's all the same too. And then it's the point where she says she's going away. Yep. This is the same. Yeah, moving far away. That's all the same scene. Yep, then we go to the new one. So that's a completely dead scene, unfortunately. That's no different either.
いや、それ映画の座席って狭いじゃん。そしたら椅子がベキって言って。
And that's the one about where he almost broke the seat and then he reached over and touched the lap.
で、体を支えようとし、それが。
Yeah.
嘘じゃないよ。ただ僕。
This is where the nerd finds out what it's like to touch a real woman, but. I've got to say, to be fair, what Daru did is better than something that Dark Side Film once made a joke about on his streams. All I say is it involved a trick involving a popcorn bucket. I'm not going to say any more than that because it was fucking disgusting. So at least Daru had a bit more taste than that. Right, it's not the right bumper because watch. It brings up the backlog. And that just quick saves. So the skip button is this one.
母さんがわからない。
I mean, I can always just check the config just to make sure. Might be an easy way to do it, actually. Skip release the trigger. Yeah, it's not showing me that there. It's annoying. It's not telling me. That's frustrating. I just don't want to repeat the same scenes for you all, because that's kind of boring. I did that earlier on in the stream.
ですおフェイリスタンの声じゃない
Oh, here we are. Now we got something new. There was something about Ferristan there. Oh, was that Ferristan? Scissorhand let go of Itara's collar and moved over to the window. Below, she saw a group of people she knew. So now we do have new content, people. We're finally there. Akabe Rintaro, Shina Miyuri, Ferris Nyanyan, and Hyajo Maho too.
ヒヤジョウさん、もう到着してたのか。
Hyajo's here already.
でもなんでオカリンおじさんたちと一緒なんだろう。
But why is she here with Uncle Ocarine? And then she gave a start and turned back towards the room.
まずいよ、それ出しっぱなし。
Wait, this is bad! We haven't put it away! Huh? Scissorhand pointed towards the desk in the development room, where the phone wave, being subject to change, Unit 02 was sitting.
やばいやばい覚醒
Oh crap! Crap! Hide it!
オキドキ。
Okie dokie! If nothing else, this meant that Hyajo Maho was coming to the Future Gadget Lab. Scissor hoped this meant the work on the phone wave would get back on track. Yay! And that's got us an end of a chapter. What a very unusual way to end the chapter. Wasn't expecting that. And now we're in control of Maho. Oh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that to open the next screen. Let's open with... Let's go over you. Screw it. There was a small explosion and the room filled with smoke. The loom? The loom? Who do I think I am? Dr. Leskinen? What she's done is she's accidentally accessed the wrong thing and caused it to go off. And the dramatic music's for nothing. This will be a red herring.
Ah! The window! Open the window!
ゲホゲホゲホ大きいゲホドキ
Okay, okay. Maho crawled out into the living room. Itaru rushed to open the window and she heard a man who was probably the building's owner yell up at them. Hey, Hashina! What was that sound? Are you making bombs up there? I'll call the cops!
電子レンジが爆発したんです
Sorry, the microwave blew up! Itaru poked his head out and apologised to the man below. It took a minute, but the owner was finally satisfied and the argument rescinded.
それにしてもビビった
Wow, that really scared me. As Itaru wiped away the sweat, she saw that his face and clothes were covered in soot.
ビビったじゃないわよ。
It scared you? It should have!
Maho was no different. Some of her hair had been burnt off, and the white lab coat she'd gone through all that trouble to get had turned pitch black. Oh dear.
どういうことか説明して。なぜいきなり煙を吹いたの？
Explain what's going on! Where did that smoke come from?
電子レンジが原因だと思われ粗大ゴミで捨てられてたのを拾ってきたやつだからどこかショートしたのかも
Probably the microwave. I picked it up from a dumpster, so probably shot it out somewhere. He went bin diving. Ladies and gentlemen, the future hinges on someone who goes bin diving.
拾ってきたって。あなたね、
You picked it up from where? What is wrong with you?
私たちが作ろうとしているのは人類史に名を残すレベルの大発明なのよ。
We're working on one of the greatest inventions in human history!
なのになんで粗大ゴミを部品に使っているの？
And you're using parts from a dumpster? Why?
And Maho is correct. You wouldn't try and make an Aston Martin out of scrap parts that you ripped off a Vauxhall Calibre from the scrapyard, would you?
業務用の電子レンジは高いのだぜ。
By the way, I've probably just made myself uber British by talking about the Vauxhall Calibre. I've not only made myself a dated dinosaur, I've made my Britishness pretty obvious for everybody. Commercial microwaves are expensive. Yes, Chaotic, Mr. Braun is back. He's back amongst us.
信じられない。
I can't believe you!
私のクレジットカードを使ってもいいからなんとかしなさい。
Do something about this! Use my credit card if you have to!
Maho didn't have that much money, but this was no time to be cheap.
それは助かるよ。
That's a big help! Maho wiped her sweaty, soot-covered face with a towel. The white towel turned black immediately.
もう我慢できないわ。エアコンを入れるわよ。
I can't take this anymore! I'm turning on the air conditioner!
それは無理。
That's not happening!
電話レンジ仮2号機と一緒に稼働させるとブレーカーが落ちるんで。
If you use it at the same time as the phone wave, it'll trip the breaker.
つうかそのエアコン電気代がとんでもないことになるから1日1時間しか使うの禁止って言ったっしょ。
And I told you, you can't use an air conditioner for more than an hour a day because it's so expensive. Game, how did you know about the energy crisis from 2021 when prices went through the fucking roof? You came out 6 years ago. Stop doing this! Stop calling in the future. It's creeping me out. These working conditions were abysmal. Was Makise really able to create a time leap machine under these circumstances? Just thinking about it gave her even more respect for Makise.
わかったわよ。でも髪まですすまみれだからシャワーを借りたいのだけれど。
Fine, but I'd at least like to take a shower and get the soot out of my hair.
どうぞどうぞ。
Go ahead.
もしちょっとでも覗くような真似をしたらすぐに鈴葉さんに連絡するからそのつもりで。
If you even think about peeking, I'll go straight to Scissorha. Remember that.
Yeah, as you say, Queen, the game's just like, no, I'm going to keep doing it just to annoy you. Yeah, Chaotic, the lab, it's not exactly a cutting-edge science lab, is it? My bedroom I'm streaming from is not much better, I admit, but that's not the point.
そんなことしないって。
I wouldn't do that. For some reason, Itaru responded to Maho's warning by sighing and slumping his shoulders.
つうか僕は今そういう冗談に付き合っていられるほど心の余裕はないよ。
And actually, I don't feel it's dealing with jokes like that right now. Maho hadn't meant it as a joke. She was extremely serious.
昇進の僕は今週はエロゲすら立ってる状態なんで。
Yeah, I'm in such a bad way that I'm not even playing H games. She'd heard from Suzuha that the day she'd arrived in Japan, Itaru had screwed up bad on a date. It was true that Itaru was a lot quieter than his usual self. Mayuri had even said that Daru had not been playing H games must be an omen of some impending natural disaster. And she's probably not wrong, to be fair. But either way, she didn't have time for his negativity, so she mostly ignored him and went to the shower room. Oh, another shower scene? Since Suzuha used to shower regularly, it was relatively clean. Well, yeah, you don't want to get in a dirty shower. Been there and done that at festivals. I'm not going to talk about why it was dirty. Join the dots yourselves, people. There was a good selection of body soap and shampoo, and Suzuha told her she could use it as she liked.
せっかくの七夕だっていうのに、なんでこんなすすまみれになってないといけないのかしら。
Gee, I'm spending Tanabata covered in soot.
That day was, indeed, Tanabata. Actually, Maho had been secretly looking forward to this day. Since she'd lived in America for so long, she was interested in Japan's traditional summer holiday, where everyone gets out at stalls on the streets and wear yukatas and generally celebrate ancient rituals. I once accidentally attended one in 2013. I didn't realise it was Tanabata when I was there. It was awesome. She was especially interested in the famous story of Orihime and Hikaboshi, and the custom of writing down wishes and hanging them from bamboo. Right, do a quick save while I can. Vega and Altair. Just realised what the title of this chapter was called. Go on then, let's look at the tips. So, Hikaboshi. Man who appears in the legend of Tanabata in Japan. Altair, the brightest star of the constellation Aquila, is known as the summer Hikaboshi star. The star Vega, or Orihime, is separated from Altair by the Milky Way, and the legend says that only on Tanabata can they cross it and come together. This was originally a Chinese legend. So there's the girl that appears in the legend. Constellation Lyra is known as her star, daughter of the Emperor of Heaven, given the name Orihime. Because of her mastery to the loom, she's married to Hikaboshi, but the Emperor of Heaven decreed that they would only meet on the 7th of July in the old Japanese calendar. Then the IP, Internet Protocol, but it's normally spelled for an IP address. And then propaganda, we all know what that is. Go and look up a promo by Boris Johnson. Too soon? After his big loss? No, never too fucking soon. Fuck you, Boris Johnson. Fuck you. Since she was here, she sort of wanted to try writing down a wish too. She didn't want to bring it up herself because she didn't want anyone thinking of her as childish. But Mayuri, Faris, and the other girls seemed like they'd want to do something like that. Part of her hoped they'd invite her too. That's why it hurts so much to spend a hot summer afternoon in the lab with Itaru covered in soot. Yeah, that's the humbler, isn't it? You want all these wishes and then, no, get in there and get dirty. Get manky and get it bloody made. She was thinking about that as she washed herself off when... Mahotan! Mahotan! She could hear Itaru calling from her from outside.
What? Don't tell me you're really going to peek! I dare you to open that door even an inch! I'll cry! Now's no time for being cute! I just got word from Mayushi. Okari might be coming here. What? Okami? Maho's mind started to race. She'd been told that Akabe rarely came to the lab anymore. In fact, after he dropped her off here on the first day, he hadn't come by even once. That's why she started to feel safe going in and out of the lab, but... I hit the phone wave, but make sure he doesn't find out what we're doing. Right, I know. Wait, I shouldn't even be here. I need to get back to Faris's place and hide. Why? Because it's supposed to be in Okinawa. That's how she'd explained her visit to Akabe. If he found out she was working on the phone with Taru, there would be trouble. That's right! Okay, hurry up and come out! I can't! Not with you standing there! Oh, that's right. After she was sure Ataru was gone, she quickly washed the bubbles from the body soap off her body. Her long hair still wasn't dry, but there wasn't time for that. She wiped herself off with a towel and was about to leave the shower room when she heard the door open.
よ、誰?
Hey, Daru. Eh? He was here already? She quickly shut the door to the shower room again, but then she looked down and saw that she was naked. Her clothes were lying on the floor past the door. There was no way she could get them without Akabe seeing her. Her only choice was to stay hidden, completely undressed, and wait for him to leave, and hope he didn't notice them as well. Because there's not many people your size around, is there, Maho? Rule number 1. Leave no evidence out of sight.
でもこんなのすごくなんていうかそわそわして落ち着かない。
But this is really kind of nerve-wracking.
And now we go to the other scene, where Akabe is on the other side of the door.
よ、誰?
Ooh, this game's now set on 7/7. Here in the UK, that's a rather dark anniversary. I'm not going to say any more. Hey, Daru. Daru greeted me as I came inside the lab. He seemed to be in kind of a hurry.
ああ、オカリンか。一人で来るなんて珍しいじゃん。
Oh, Ocarine! I don't see you coming by yourself very often anymore. The room smelled kind of like smoke, and someone must have been using the shower room, because the smoky smell was mixed with the scent of soap. But whoever it was, it definitely wasn't Daru. His face and clothes were blackened with soot. I thought it might be Suzuha, but the lights in the shower room were turned off.
何してたんだ? お前真っ黒だぞ。
What were you doing? Dude, you're black with soot.
ああ、これは
Oh, well...
この前、粗大ゴミの電子レンジを拾ってきたんだよね。で、さっきそれでコンビニ弁当を温めてたら爆発した。
I got this microwave from the garbage dump, you know, and I was warming up a lunch I got from the convenience store, and it blew up. Which no one would believe, because all the E. coli and other shite that you'd get from dumpster dive in a microwave. Yet no one in the right mind, or even the wrong mind, would eat that.
爆発って、大丈夫か?
It blew up. Are you okay?
ブラウン氏に怒られた。
Mr. Braun got mad at me.
あまり目をつけられるなよ。いつ追い出されるかわからないんだから。
Don't get him too riled up. You don't know when he'll kick you out.
そんなことになれば、お前はともかく、鈴葉は行くところがなくなるだろう。
If he does that, you might be okay, but Suzuha will have nowhere to go.
そうだね。
That's right.
で、今日はどうしたん？Mayoshiなら来てないけど。
So, what are you doing here? Mayoshi isn't here.
お前に話があるんだ。朗報だぞ。
I need to talk to you. Good news.
だが断る。
But I refuse. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference? But I refuse.
まだ何も言ってないだろう。
I haven't even said anything yet.
オカリンの持ってきた話がまともだったことなんて一度もないんで。
Nothing you've ever come to talk to me about has ever ended up being good news.
まあ聞けって。
Come on, just hear me out.
昨日の夜さ、レスキネン教授と食事に行ったんだ。それで留学の話になったんだけど。
Last night, I went to dinner with Dr. Leskinen, and we were talking about the exchange program.
ああ、またその話か。
Oh, that again. I was keeping in touch with Dr. Leskinen. Of course, the professor knew that Maho was here in Japan. Yesterday, he'd shown me a picture of her taken in Okinawa. I could see her standing in the surf with a blank expression on her face. A friend or family member must have taken it. Daru. So these people who on Act Channel use prepared evidence with photographic equipment, were you talking about yourself? Dr. Leskinen had been really nice to me, and I talked to him a lot about going to Victorkandria. Of course, at a minimum, I needed to graduate my current school and pass the exchange exam for
せっかくだから ダルのことも教授に話してみたんだ。そうしたら興味を持ってくれた。
I actually was telling him about you, and he was interested.
え、僕？
Huh? In me?
ビクトル・コンドリア大学には情報科学研究所っていうところがあってな、世界最高のハッカーが集まってるらしいんだよ。
Victor Condria's got something called an information science lab. It brings together hackers from around the world, supposedly. No, negative, negative, no, 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 no. You all end up in the States, it's going to end up in a very, very rough place for the future. No, 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 no. You really don't want to do that, Daru? Absolutely not, and I can already see Queen in the comments shouting don't do it as well. So evidently I've got some backup for once.
ダルの腕なら通用するんじゃないか。
With your talents, don't you think you'd fit in fine there? I've been inviting Daru to come to America with me, but he didn't seem that interested. He'd said things like, I can't imagine living away from the otaku mecca, and no way am I living anywhere you can't get H games and anime figures. Dude, American cons are bigger than any in Japan, trust me, you can get anime figures almost fucking anywhere. Unless it's Sailor Moon. For some reason, Sailor Moon don't have distribution outside Japan. So there's a lot of bootlegging. Which is annoying, because I'd love a really good statue of Sailor Jupiter, but they're all crap. They're all crap knockoffs. And the officials from Japan are way too expensive. He done nothing but give excuses like that.
そりゃあ僕はスーパーハッカーだし通用すると思うけどさ。
Well, I am a super hacker. I'm sure I'll be fine, but...
とりあえず教授に会ってみるだけならどうだ。面識だってあるんだし。
Why not meet with him at least? You've met him before. And yeah, true chaotic, he needs to get together with Yuki, but... I'm thinking about the other side of the coin. Neurodivergence for the win.
今忙しいんだお。
I'm busy now.
一日ぐらいなら時間作れるだろう。
You can make time for one day.
コミマが終わるまでは無理かな。
Now that Kamimar's over, probably.
1ヶ月以上先じゃないか。
That's over a month away.
とにかくしばらくは無理。
It's not happening for a while, okay?
いやあれ本当に言い訳ばっかりだな。そんなに行きたくないのか？
Give me a break, man. You're full of excuses. Do you really not want to go that badly? I sighed and sat down on the sofa. This room really was hot as hell during summer. The windows were open and the fans were running at full speed, but I was still sweating. Well, it's kinda because you're wearing a suit with your new style. They're not very functional for the summer. I've been there. They are hell. There was an air conditioner, but evidently he wasn't using it.
誰？ドクペって置いてあるか？
Daru, got any Dr. P?
さあどうだったかな。マヨシが買い置きしてるかも。
I don't know. Maybe Maishi put some in the fridge. I got up and took a look inside the fridge in the corner of the room. There was regular soda, mineral water, and some sports drinks, but not a single Dr. P. As usual, the freezer was stuffed with juicy fried chicken number 1. Mayuri really did buy a ton of this stuff. Wait, was there even more than usual? Maybe she'd bought some for Suzuha too.
スポーツドリンクもらうぞ。
I'm going to grab a sports drink.
鈴葉の飲みかけ以外なら OK。
Take any except the ones Suzuha already drank out of. I grabbed an open bottle and took a big gulp. I happened to take a look at the snack shelf next to the fridge. Mixed in with the instant noodles and snacks were 5 bunches of bananas. Yes. Why would they have so many bananas inside the lab? We all know that Mayoshi liked bananas, but there was another reason for it. It's an interesting point, that Avian. In winter, you should wear a black winter jacket so that you can absorb the sunlight. Mayuri must have bought those too. But still, all that fried chicken, and now these bananas. Was she eating more than she had been? She always said that no matter how much she ate, she never got fat, but if she bought this many bananas at once, they were all going to turn brown and squishy before she could eat them all.
マユリのやつバナナを買いすぎじゃないか
Does Mayuri really need all these bananas?
ああ、それ買ってきたのマユシじゃなくて僕。
Oh, it wasn't my she bought those, it was me. Oh. Oh, Daru. You're really not good at this, are you? You're really not good at this. Daru quickly cut himself off. I turned toward him and he averted his gaze. He'd been acting really weird this whole time. Was he hiding something?
お前がこんなに買ったのかいつからバナナ好きになった
You bought all these? When did you start liking bananas? And
いやほら、鈴葉に言われてるんだって。ダイエットにいいから毎日食べろってさ。
well, you know, it was Suzuha's idea. She told me to eat some every day because it's good for my diet.
そういえば昔そんなダイエットが流行ったな
There was a diet like that before, come to think of it. Some celebrity got on TV and said she'd lost a bunch of weight on a banana diet. And the next day all the bananas in Japan disappeared from stores. As I say, you guys in the comments are all face palming as hard as I am, but apparently Akabe is not keeping up. Or of course, he's acting. My dad had tried to get in on the boom a little too late and bought a huge supply of bananas, only to see it flare out and most of them rot on the shelves. I remember that.
だからってこんなに一度に買うなよなだいぶ色が変わってきてるじゃないか
So don't buy so many at once. They've already changed colour. Well, whatever. I was hungry, so I decided to take one. Well, bananas, they're good. They give you a lot of potassium. So you shouldn't have too many of them though, because you say, Queen, they contain a lot of natural sugar. So you got to be careful with how many you take on. I took a banana and peeled the skin.
とにかく少しは加減ってものを考えろ
Just don't go overboard with everything, okay?
そうだね。うん。
You're right, yeah. I finished the banana in 3 bites and went to toss the peel in the burnable trash can. What kind of jaw has he got? Have you ever tried to eat a banana in that few bites? How? And then I noticed something strange. The can was filled with bananas. More than anyone could possibly eat. What was my rule number 1? Don't leave evidence where it can be found. Over half the can was filled up with bananas. And it wasn't just the skins. Some of them were unpeeled, but half rotten. And the summer heat made them give off a nasty stench. I remembered seeing something like this once before. We're making Jalnanas again! That's right. It was when I was living here a year ago, doing experiments every day. And then my mind flashed back to the contents of the fridge. And that bizarre stockpile of juicy fried chicken. It couldn't be. I plunged my hand into the garbage can, not caring about the filth.
Ocarine?
Wait, Ocarine? Daru was clearly uneasy, but I ignored him. I was right. Under the remains of the bananas, I saw tons of empty boxes of empty fried chicken. No matter how much Mayuri liked them, or how much of a glutton Daru was, no one would voluntarily eat this much frozen fried chicken every day. I went deeper into the garbage can, and then I found something I didn't want to see.
Daru,
Hey, Daru.
なんぞ
What?
バナナと冷凍唐揚げの組み合わせ。懐かしいな。
Bananas and frozen fried chicken. This brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it? Yeah?
1年くらい前か。よくこうして実験してたよな。
It must have been about a year ago. We used to do all kinds of experiments like this. And yeah, you're all going berserk in the comments, going on about good going Dara and everything else, and you're all absolutely correct. I won't mind, but he talked about going into a garbage dump to get the foam wave. Take the garbage with you!
かなり無駄な使い方してたから真由里によく怒られた。食べ物を粗末にしちゃダメだって。
We'd waste a lot, so Mayuri would get mad at us. She'd tell us not to waste food.
そうだね
That's right.
しょうがないから電子レンジで温かくなったバナナも俺たちで食べて処分したよな。あれはひどい味だった。
So we ended up having to eat the bananas that we warmed in the microwave to get rid of them. They tasted terrible.
でもさすがにこれは食べられなかったよ。
But we were never able to eat these. When I pulled out the garbage can was a green, gooey mass. It was thick, disgusting liquid, like you'd expect to see if someone crushed a giant bug. Where is that? Why is that familiar? Crushing a huge bug and getting loads of green juice. Where have I seen that before? The goo dripped out of my fingers and splattered onto the floor. It was what used to be a banana. What we'd once called a gel nana.
しまった
Oops! Daru put his hands on his head. But then he evidently gave up on hiding it.
まずったこんなあっさりバレちゃったかもうちょっと隠し通せると思ったんだけどな
Ugh. I didn't expect you to find out this easily. I thought I could hide it a little more.
実際さ目処がついたらちゃんと相談したいこともあったし打ち明ける予定ではあったんだけど
I was actually going to tell you soon. Because I needed your help. From your nightmares, Avian, but actually, yeah, Dragon Shrek. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That's the kind of thing that he would do. I've seen it somewhere else as well, I'm sure of it. Aliens, is that you? Maybe. Daru tossed me the towel. Evidently he'd already used it because it was covered in black soot. But I decided to wipe up the gel nana off my hands with it anyway. Daru went into the development room and started moving boxes and dust covers.
ほれこれが2号機
Here, this is Unit 02. And on the table appeared the horrible future gadget number 8, which I'd built, improved, and finally dismantled a year ago.
組み立て直したのか。
You put it together again.
電話レンジカッコ仮バージョン2とどっちがいいか結構迷った
I wasn't sure if I should call it Unit 02 or Version 2.
名前なんてどうでもいい。
I don't care about the name.
マジ？オカリンの言葉とは思えないな。
Are you serious? I can't believe you're saying that.
どの未来ガジェットもさ、円卓会議やって大騒ぎして名前決めたじゃん。
We used to have a round table meeting and have a lot of fun picking names for the future gadgets.
黒歴史だろう。
That's all dark history.
そう？
Really? Dara was looking at the dust-covered future gadgets that were sitting on the shelf at the development room. There was something like fondness in his gaze. Why the hell was he acting like this? Did he think of that nightmare as some kind of happy, useful memory? I was about to tell him to go screw himself, but held it in.
お前、俺が言ったことを忘れたのか。
Did you forget what I told you?
これは危険だ。俺たちが持っていて一種のものじゃない。
This thing is dangerous! It's not something we should have!
けどさ、僕未来でタイムマシン作らないといけないんだよね。
But I need to make a time machine in the future, you know. Ouch! Damn! That's the ultimate, like, yeah, but I've got to do it anyway, bruh, so what the fuck? The ultimate edgy, sarcastic response, even the posture. That's a proper case of, you know, I've still got to do it anyway. You know, kind of pose.
そうするとやっぱこいつを研究することがその第一歩だと思うわけ。
Which means I need to research this as a first step, I think. Damn! I gave up on trying to hold it back. I got up in his face and yelled at him.
何度も話したよな。
I told you again and again and again and again, right?
こいつのせいで何が起こったのか。こいつのせいで俺がどんな体験をしたのか。
I told you what happened because of this thing. I told you what I went through.
これを作ったことでマユリは殺されるんだ。
Mayuri was killed because we made this thing.
これを作ったことでクリスは犠牲になったんだ。
Marcusly was sacrificed because we made this thing.
これを作ったことでお前の娘は過去へ飛んで自殺までしたんだ。
Your daughter went back into the past and committed suicide because we made this thing.
忘れたって言うならもう一度話してやろうか。
If you've forgotten, do you want me to go over it again?
お前はそんなにバカだったのか。自分でそれを体験してみないとわからないほどバカだったのか。
Are you that stupid? Are you so dumb that you won't understand unless you experience it for yourself?
バカはあなたよ、岡部倫太郎。
You're the one who's been stupid, Akami Rintaro! Huh? I suddenly heard an angry female voice behind me. Oh wow! Elvira, is that you? If anyone who gets that reference, by the way, you're officially dating yourself, so you probably don't want to put it in the comments. I looked back and saw Hayajo Maho glaring at me.
ヒヤジョさん。
What? Hyajo!
おう、ゴーホロリ来たこれ。
He's trying to break the tension, but I'm not giving it the light of day. Not happening! Moving on! Oh, for fuck's game! Fuck off! I deliberately avoided pressing my B button, you fucking idiot game! Fuck's sake! What happened to your clothes?
っていうかなんでここに。
But wait, what are you doing here?
これはそのつい勢い余って。
Oh, this is. I just couldn't sit there and listen.
あんまりジロジロ見ないで訴えるわよ。
Don't stare at me! I'll sue!
そっちがそんな格好で出てきたんじゃないか。
It's your fault for coming out like that!
ちょっと待ってなさい。今服を着てくるから。
Hold on, I'll go get dressed.
Maho quickly went back into the shower room and came out dressed a moment later.
失礼待たせたわ
I'm glad you all were as shocked as I was at seeing that in the comments. Oh, you finding that funny? Yes, it was funny, but Gabe, seriously, why? And at least, as you say, Queen, she was decent, unlike another girl we recently saw whose shower was interrupted. She had an excuse! She had an excuse to come out like that! Maho didn't! Well, she kinda did, but that's by the by.
Excuse me, sorry about that.
もしかして俺が来た時から隠れてたのか
Have you been hiding here since I first arrived?
私のことはどうでもいいでしょ
Who cares about me?
レスキネン教授に送った沖縄での写真はわざわざ捏造したのか
Did you fake that picture of you in Okinawa that you sent to Dr. Leskinen? Both the professor and I were completely taken in by that picture of us standing on that Okinawan beach. But it seemed we'd both been tricked. It was well made enough that Daru must have been involved.
君の来日の目的は沖縄じゃなかったというわけだ
So you didn't come to Japan to visit Okinawa?
ええそうよ
Yes, that's right.
あなたが電話レンジカッコ仮なんていうセンスのない名前をつけたそのマシンのために来たの
I came for that machine with the stupid name. What was it again? Phone wave, name subject to change?
君にも説明したはずだ D メールによって一体何が引き起こされたのかを
I told you what happened because of the D-mails too. Well, let's see what the hint for this is. We all know it from the previous game, but yep, short for DeLorean mail, text the message that's capable of travelling to the past. D-mails are sent from the cell phone to the phone wave. However, they can't be sent too close to the present, and also they only contain a little over 36 bytes of data. 36 bytes, and I was ranting earlier about 5 kilobytes of data per second when I was doing those downloads in the 90s. 36 bytes! Now that is tiny. Can you find a file which is 32 bytes or 36 bytes small? Can you actually create one? If you actually made a new text file on your computer, I guarantee it will not be 36 bytes, even if you don't put any data in it.
それをまた繰り返すつもりか
Are you going to repeat that?
違うわ
No.
何が違う
How?
D メールを送ればそれはエシロンに補足され世界線は今のベータから再びアルファに戻ってしまうんだ
If you send a D-mail, Echelon will pick it up, and the world will go back to from beta to alpha.
そうしたらマユリはまた死ぬ
And then Miyuri will die again.
何度やっても助けられない永遠に死に続ける
I won't be able to save her, no matter what I do. She'll keep dying for all eternity. And then I had a terrifying thought, and stared directly into Maho's eyes. No way. She of all people couldn't possibly. I trusted Maho completely, and I didn't want to believe she was capable of it. But the terrible machine I just confronted had drained me of any kind of rationality. A flashback felt like it was going to hit me any second. Images of Makise and Mayuri's death were flashing through my mind. And so I said something I never should have said.
君はまさか世界線をアルファに戻したいのか
You aren't trying to bring back the Alpha World line, are you?
え
What?
クリスが生きていてマユリが死んでいる世界を望むのか
Are you trying to create a world where Makise lives and Mayuri dies? What?
この野郎
You asshole! Oh! There was an impact on my cheek and a loud sound in my ears. finally someone's kicked Akabe's ass! That's been coming for about 16 chapters! That's long fucking due! He's been due a receipt for a fucking long time! The next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground face up. It was a while before I understood what had happened. The left half of my face felt like it was on fire. I was punched? Yes, and you fucking deserved it. By Daru? I'd known him for 5 years, and this was the first time anything like that had happened.
謝れ今すぐ真帆たんに謝れ
Apologize! Apologize to Maho-san, right now!
ちょっとやめなさい橋田さん
Wait! Stop it, Hashida!
オカリンがどれだけ苦しんでるかなんて僕には想像しかできないけどさ
I can only imagine how much she's suffering, Ocarine!
だから安っぽい同情なんてしないしするつもりもねえよ
So I'm not giving you any cheap sympathy.
でもなお前結局ただそれに甘えてるだけじゃねえか
But in the end, you're just using that as an excuse.
真帆たんだって鈴葉だってマユシだってみんながお前のためにどれだけ
Maho-san, Susaha, even Mayashi! Do you know how much they've done for you?
もういいからよしなさい
That's enough! Stop it! Maho grabbed Daru's body and tried to hold him back.
離せこいつもっとぶん殴ってやらないとわかんないんだよ
Let me go! He's not going to understand unless I hit him again!
もう十分よ今ので十分だから落ち着いて
That's enough! What you just did was enough, so calm down!
And this time, Maho put her hand on Daru's shoulder.
後の説明は私がしておくわ顔でも洗ってきなさいほら
I'll explain the rest. Go wash your face or something. Go!
She pointed towards the shower room, and Daru finally seemed to get control of himself again.
わかった
Fine. He looked a little awkward as he lowered his fist. Normally, he hated any kind of seriousness, so in a situation like this, he'd always tell one of his perverted gentleman jokes. But there were no jokes as he vanished beyond the curtain, into the shower room. A moment later, I could hear the sound of water.
Christ.
Maho was looking down at me. You won't be used to that. Too soon? No, definitely not.
あなたがおかしなことを言うからよ
This is your fault for being weird.
そうだな
You're
すまな
right.
かった今のは決して本心じゃ
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
分かってるわあなたそんな人じゃないもの
I know that. You're not like that.
ほら立てる
Come on, can you stand up? I grabbed her hand and slowly got up. I'd taken a solid hit when I wasn't expecting it, so my head was still a little dizzy.
今のは聞いた普段優しいやつが怒ると聞くな
That hurt. When somebody who's normally gentle finally gets mad, he's really strong.
そうねしかも自分のためじゃなく他の誰かのために怒れる人は素敵だと思う少しだけ見直したわ
That's right. And when someone gets mad for someone else's sake, not their own, I think that's wonderful. This has changed my opinion of him a little bit.
Maho seemed a bit happy as she looked toward the shower room.
見直したのは少しだけなのか
Only a little bit?
だって私への言動がいつもセクハラばっかりだもの
Because he's always sexually harassing me.
And she's correct. Well, let's be fair.
もしかしたら君のことが好きになったのかもしれないぞ
I know you're still reeling from the blower, Kabe, but dude, come on, seriously?
Maybe he's fallen in love with you.
子供がよくやるだろう。好きな子に意地悪するとか。
Kids do it all the time, you know.
あいつ、頭の中、子供だからな。
Tease the girls they like. He's a kid at heart, after all.
冗談じゃないわ。鈴葉さんを私の娘にしたいわけ？
You've gotta be kidding me. Do you want Scissorheart to be my daughter?
それはまずいな。
That would be bad, yeah. Don't be dissing best girl, Akabe. You're already on very thin ice as it is. In fact, no, he's already gone through the ice. I chuckled a bit, but quickly stopped and turned to face Maho. The difference between our heights was so great that I was looking down on her.
俺の主観で言えば、この世界はクリスの選択のおかげで存在してるんだ。
If you want my subjective opinion, this world exists because of Makise's choice.
クリスがいたから、マイリは無事でいられる。幸せに暮らしていられる。
Mayuri is safe because of Makise. She can live and be happy.
それを俺も守らなくちゃいけない。
I have to protect that.
君は科学者だ。俺なんかよりずっと優れた頭脳の持ち主だ。
You're a scientist. You're a lot smarter than I am.
だから理解できるだろう。この世界の摂理を。
So you can understand, right? You can understand the laws of the universe.
ええ。
Yeah.
Maho quietly nodded.
それは言ってみれば神みたいなものなんだよ。
You could call it God if you wanted to.
神に人間が挑むなんて無謀だったんだ。
It's stupid for humans to challenge God, unless they're Kratos. Then you can just have fun, ripping off heads and shoving them on spikes and God knows what else. I really need to play those games again at some point.
なのに俺はそれに何回も何十回も何百回も挑んで全てが失敗に終わった。無駄だったんだ。
But I tried anyway. And then I tried a dozen times more, and then 100 times more after that. And I failed every time. It was all useless.
人の傲慢を神は決して許さない。
God will never forgive human arrogance.
そうね。
You're right.
Maho was looking out the window. It was as if she was thinking back to her homeland and ancestors.
神というのは私の祖国やあるいは沖縄の人たちの間でもポピュラーな存在として信じられているわ。
God is a popular guy back home, and among the people of Okinawa.
Oh, especially when you're down in another part of the South. God's the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, Queen, it's an interesting point to say stream those games up to the recent installment. The problem with that is, I know that God of War was PS2, and I think God of War 2 might have been, but wasn't one of them PS3? And I don't have a PS3. I can play the most recent one on the PSN Expanded, thanks to my PS5. And of course, there's the new game that's due out, I don't know, in the next 18 months maybe. But I'm sure there's a PS3 title, which again, I've not got any access to.
私も祖父母や父母からその素敵な考えを教えられてきた。
I learned those wonderful beliefs from my parents and grandparents too.
And as you say, Kurt, how do you beat the attractor field? Oh, there is a way. But it requires a shot so ridiculous. Right, Queen, for PS2, yes, but I don't have a PS3 one. I don't believe there's one reliable enough for the PS3. I can look into it. If it does exist, it might be an option. It might be something I do. Which would be strange, because I'd be playing PS games on one of these. All the Sony fans are getting ready to kill me now for that. And my response is, analog sticks in the best position. That's one thing Microsoft got right. 2 analog sticks down here. If I can get it on camera. 2 analog sticks here.
shit. Always was shit, always will be shit.
科学に身を捧げるものではあるけれど、決して神を侮ったりはしない。
I'm a scientist, but I would never mess with God.
それなら
But then... Maho shook her head a little and looked up at me with a piercing gaze.
けどね、あなたが盛んに口にする神は、それとは全く違う。
The God you're talking about, that's completely different. Her words were sharp, with no room for disagreement.
世界の摂理ですって。そんなものは、ただこの世界を構築している数式に過ぎないわ。
The laws of the universe, those are just the equations that define the world.
神なんて立派なものは介在していないし、私たちに解が導けない道理はないのよ。
The wonderful being called God has nothing to do with them, and there's no reason we can't solve them.
I was about to respond, but before I could, Maho went inside the development room. I had no choice but to follow her. Ah, yes, Dragon, Sonic 06 is shit. And yet, I am one day going to do that as a hell stream. I one day will do it. I might even do it just before the second movie comes out. I might do it then. I will need to do some serious recalibration to make it happen, but it is possible that I can do it. I had no choice but to follow her.
D メールとエシュロンとの因果、それによる危険性については十分認識しているわ。
I'm well aware of the relationship between Echelon and the D-mails, and how dangerous it is.
安心しなさい。D メールは今の時点では封印してある。
Don't worry, we sealed away the D-mail function for now.
あなたの懸念しているような事態は起こらないし、私が絶対に起こさせない。アルファ世界線に戻させたりもしない。
What you're concerned about is never going to happen, because I won't let it. I'm not letting us go back to the Alpha World Line.
もちろん D メールの危険を回避する方法もエシュロンを無効化する策も橋田さんと検討中よ。
Of course, Hashida and I are working on a way to avoid the danger at the D-mail, and to neutralize Echelon.
ただ今はその検証にリソースを割くより先にやらなくてはならないことがあるの。個人的にもね。
But before we start spending resources on that, there's something we have to do first. Something personal.
Maho tapped the top of the phone wave unit 02.
今私たちが研究しているのはクリスが成し遂げたというタイムリープの方。
What we're researching now is the time leap technology that you say Makise developed.
じゃあタイムリープしかできないのかそれ。
Then this can only time leap?
そういうことになるわね。
That's right.
Ah, so we finally get to see the phone wave. It's a lot neater than the original one. I mean, it has a fucking door. That's some major credit already. She was right. I was looking at a time leap machine, not the phone wave, named subject to change. I could tell they'd recreated all the improvements that Makise had made to the phone wave. The most obvious was the PC and monitor that were connected to the microwave. And connected to the PC was a headset with what looked like a cord covered in electrodes. In this world line, only I knew details of how the time leap machine was set up, and I hadn't told Daru or Maho about them. In other words, with only some small hints, Maho had managed to create the same thing as Makise.
正直なところとても悔しいわ。
To be honest, it's really frustrating.
And yet, that's right, they did rip the door off on the last one to be fair, but still.
悔しい。
Frustrating.
研究すればするほどやっぱり私はクリスにはなれないって思い知らされるのよ。
The more research I do, the more I realize that I can never be Makise.
記憶をデータ化して それをトップダウン検索信号込みで携帯電話に転送する。そこまではできるの。
I can get as far as digitizing the memory data and transferring it to a cell phone along with the top-down search signals.
ただ最大の問題がクリアできない。クリスはそれをやってのけたのに。
But I still can't clear the biggest hurdle, even though Makise could.
データの圧縮だな。
The data compression, right? And yes, Chaotic, that seems what they're trying to do. The pain of the attractor field, but they can only go back 2 days. So at least they're keeping it narrow searched. As for why they ripped it off, it was because I believe it made the electric field better for actually causing the rip in time. I think it was also because they made a mistake with it and it actually caused damage to the machine, so they just ripped it off. Maho nodded.
何テラバイトもある膨大な記憶データをどうやって圧縮するのか。その謎が私ではどうしても解けない。
I just can't solve the mystery of how she managed to compress all of those terabytes of data.
That was the part Makise had struggled with the most too. But in the end, with Daru's help, she'd been able to do it.
あなたはクリスから何か聞いているのかしら。その方法を。
Did Makise tell you anything about it?
She seemed a little unhappy as she asked me that. Asking for the answer meant giving up on finding a solution for herself, and so it meant admitting defeat. Maybe that was really hard for her, yet she'd chosen to put completing the machine first. But I had no intention of giving her the answer right away.
前に俺の経験したことを話した時に約束をしたよな。覚えてるか？
You made me a promise when we last talked, right?
タイムマシンでマキセ・クリスを救おうなんて絶対に考えるな。
That you wouldn't try to save Makise Kurisu using the time machine. Say, is the written off from CERN, Chaotic? It's been a while since I played the OG Steins game, so I can't quite remember. But if it's because they caused the curve black hole, it's figuring that out, and I'm guessing that's what he's going to retain.
ええ。
That's right.
今でもその約束を守るつもりがあるか？
Do you still intend to keep it?
その気がないなら協力はできない。
If you don't, I can't help you. Maho didn't answer for a while. But without even looking at her face, I could tell she was being torn apart inside.
もちろん守るわ。あなたとの約束だもの。
Of course I do. I promised you, after all.
After a long pause, she gave her answer. I couldn't help but laugh.
君は嘘が下手だな。そんな顔をしていたらすぐにバレる。
You're a terrible liar. With that look on your face, it's obvious you're not telling the truth.
話は終わったな。
We're done talking. Then I left the development room. I looked toward the shower room, but I could still hear the sound of falling water from within. Daru was showing no signs of being done.
なあ、ダル。
Hey,
バカは俺だった。本当にすまなかった。
hey, Daru. I was the stupid one. I'm really sorry. I spoke, but there was no answer. Maybe he hadn't heard me. It seemed better for both of us if I apologized
ま
tomorrow.
た明日来るから。
I'll be back tomorrow. Dragon asking how would I feel about being in an anime dating sim game. You only have to go and watch when I play through a Song of Memories to see just how... I don't think it'd work very well. I know nothing about romance as it is. I'd be even worse in an anime one. That was all I said as I headed towards the door.
岡部さん。
Okabe!
Maho followed me. She came up to me so fast she almost slammed into me.
シュタインズゲートは実在すると思う？
Do you think Steins Gate exists?
マユリさんが死ぬことなく、そしてクリスも犠牲にならない、そんな狭間の世界線があると思う？
Do you really think there's another world line in the gap between the Alpha and Beta ones, when Mayuri survives and Kurisu doesn't have to die?
それを目指した俺の顛末を知りたいなら鈴葉に聞くといい。
If you really want to know what happened when I tried to reach it, ask Suzuha.
結局運命には逆らえなかった。
In the end, I couldn't beat fate.
あんなのはくだらない妄想だよ。
Steins Gate is just a stupid delusion.
そう言い切ってしまって本当にいいの？
Are you really sure though?
ないと証明されたわけではないのよ。
You haven't proven that it doesn't exist, you know.
そんなのまさに悪魔の証明じゃないか。そんな証明誰にもできるわけがない。
That's just the devil's proof, though, right? Nobody can prove a negative. Go on then, devil's proof. Said to be developed by a jurist in Europe over possession rights, used hypothetical today in contexts such as law or politics during discussion of rule violations. If someone were to tell you that to prove the devil exists, you could in turn demand proof that the devil does not exist. Then when they fail to provide that proof, you could say, since you can't prove the devil doesn't exist, he must exist. This is of course simple sophistry that proves nothing at all, but since it could turn a debate into an endless loop, traditionally the burden of proof is placed on the person first to make the statement. Makes sense, yeah? An advanced communications monitoring system said by conspiracy theorists to be owned by the US government. It's said that this system is operated by America's National Security Agency, but the US government has never publicly admitted its existence, found no proof for it. Participating countries apparently include America, over here in England, Canada, so a few of you in the comments will relate to this one, Australia and New Zealand, but France is not included, and Japan calls themselves a third party, which receives information in exchange for putting an echelon receiving station in their country. Rumoured the Elephant's Cage, a massive antenna array found at Misawa Air Base in Aomori, is actually part of Echelon. It supposedly intercepts a wide variety of messages from military traffic to individual cell phones, all of which is stored and monitored. In other words, GHQ. Yeah, you can imagine me being the one that bollocks all the characters for their mistakes.
そうよ。あるのかないのかも証明されていないのに、あなたはたった一度失敗したくらいで諦めた。
That's right. You haven't proven whether it exists or not. You've given up after one failure.
Maho was gritting her teeth hard.
呆れてしまうわ。
I can't believe you.
何？
What? I almost went out of control and grabbed her by the shoulders, but I managed to stop myself at the last second.
さっきも言っただろう。俺はそれ以前に何回も何十回も何百回も挑んで。
I told you before, right? I tried dozens, no, hundreds of times before that!
私も言ったはずよ。それは神の摂理でも何でもないって。
And remember what I said. That's not because of the laws of God, whatever they may be.
世界線もタイムマシンもシュタインズゲートなんてものも
The world lines, the time machine, Steins
ど
Gate.
れも世界を構築するただの数式に過ぎない。
They're all just part of the equations that make up the world.
何回も何十回も何百回も失敗した。
You failed dozens of times, or hundreds of times.
だからなんだというの？
So what?
そんなの科学の世界では当たり前のことよ。それで失敗したのなら何千回も何万回も何億回も挑戦すればいい。
That happens all the time in science. If you fail that many times, then you try 1,000 times, or 1,000,000 times, or 1,000,000,000 times.
そうすれば必ずそこに解放は見つかる。
And then you're certain to find the answer.
君は
君は何も知らないし経験していないからそんな無責任なことが言えるんだ。
You don't know anything! You haven't experienced it! It's the only reason you could say something so irresponsible!
いいえ、嫌というほど経験してきたわ。失敗も挫折も後悔も、その痛みもマキセ・クリスという天才のせいで。
No, I've experienced all that more times than I can count. Failures, setbacks, regrets, and the pain that comes with them. And all because of the genius named Makise Kurisu.
数式に感情はないだろう。
Equations don't have feelings!
数式を解くのは人間よ。結局のところね。
Yeah, but it's always humans who solve them in the end. We were glaring at each other, our faces close enough to kiss. Okay, let's carry on. Maho's gaze burned into me. For some reason I couldn't bear to look at her, so I turned away. I turned around without saying a word and tried to head out the door. But she grabbed the hem of my shirt and stopped me. I didn't expect that.
まだ何か用か。
Do you need something else? I turned around, annoyed. A moment ago, her expression had been so fierce, but now she simply wore a sad smile. It was so different that, for a moment, I thought I'd jumped world lines. Huh? Maho whispered to me.
あなたこそ嘘が下手ね。
You're a terrible liar too.
嘘。
Liar? Was I lying? I put my hands up to my face, trying to figure out what she meant. But that didn't tell me what kind of look I had on my face, of course. So I simply stood there, confused.
嘘ってなんだ。俺は嘘なんてついてない。
Liar? What do you mean? I'm not lying.
橋田さんに聞いたんだけど、
Hashida told me something.
1年前のあなたってタイムマシンに関しては取り付く島もなかったんですってね。
He said that a year ago, he couldn't even bring up the time machine with you.
シュタインズゲートの話なんてそれこそ論外。口にするのもはばかられるほどだったって。
And Steins Gate was out of the question entirely. You didn't even want to hear the words.
一体何を言って。
What are you talking about?
でも今は違うわ。だってあなたのその顔、私が以前よくしていた顔と同じだもの。
But it's different now. The look on your face is the same as the one I used to have all the time.
クリスに実証実験で負けて、論文の評価でも負けて、名声でも負け続けて、落ち込んで、もうダメだって思って。
I'd lost to Makise during the experimental trials. I'd lost to her with my papers. I'd lost to her in terms of fame. I was so depressed I was ready to give up.
けど、いつも最後は鏡を見て自分を叱りつけたのよ。
But in the end, I'd always look at myself in the mirror and yell. Maho pointed to her own heart with her index
挑
finger.
戦するのを諦めたら終わり。そうしたら永遠に勝つことはできないってね。
If you give up on trying, it's over. And then you'll never win. Then she pointed at my left breast.
今のあなたはその時の私と同じ顔よ。
Your face is the same as mine was.
心の奥の奥ではまだリベンジする気でいる。
At the very, very bottom of your heart, you're still ready to take revenge.
自分をこんな惨めな男へと貶めたシュタインズゲートに。
You're ready to take revenge on Steins Gate for making you into this pathetic person.
So essentially what we're doing in this game is we're literally living out the aged version of Akabe, and eventually what's going to happen is, assuming the right choices are made, we're going to send the message back in time, and that will trigger the final chapter of the original game. So we're literally seeing the untold story behind how he got his theories back to be able to solve the solution.
Me? I still hadn't given up?
違う。そんなことはない。
No, that's not true.
違わないわ。あなたってね、ほんと私にそっくり。
It is true. You really are just like me.
まるで胸像みたい。
It's like I've seen my own reflection.
強情で一度言い出したら聞かなくて、自分が間違ったと分かってもそれを絶対に認めたくなくて子供みたいに拗ねて、誰かに心配や迷惑ばかりかける。
You're stubborn. And once you say something, you never back down. Even if you know you're wrong, you pout like a child and refuse to admit it, which causes all kinds of worry and trouble for everyone else.
で、そんなことないよとか少しくらいはフォローしてもらえないとちょっと傷つくわね。
You know, it wouldn't make me feel a lot better if you told me I wasn't like that.
けどね、だからこそわかるのよ。
But that's why I understand.
私もあなたも最後は絶対に自分の足で立ち上がるの。
When it comes down to it, both you and I are going to stand up on our own 2 feet.
そうでしょ、岡部倫太郎さん。
Am I wrong? Okabe Rinsaro?
もう一度言うわ。あらゆる世界の摂理はただの数式であり、その解放は必ず存在する。
I'll say it again. All the laws of this world are just equations, and every equation can be solved.
私は何としても見つけてやるわ。神なんて介在しない、ただの数式を解く鍵を。
I'm going to find the key to that answer no matter what. And God has nothing to do with it.
そしてマユリさんが死なない、クリスも生きている、狭間の世界線に続く道へとたどり着いてやる。
And I'm going to reach the world line in the gap, where Mayuri doesn't die and Makise is still alive.
After saying all that, Maho was a little out of breath. She had a lot of vitality in her tiny body. Her words, the way she looked, they hit me so hard I couldn't speak.
で、あなたはどうするの？
So, what will you do?
岡部所長、ここはあなたのラボなのでしょ？いつまでも所長不在では話にならないのだけれど。
This is your lab, right? It can't keep running without you forever.
俺は
And then I got a line message. This is going to be a key one, so I'm going to do a quick save here, even though it's just auto-saved. So what's online?
Big trouble. What do I do? Mayuri, I just happened to pass by her. And she was running away crying. I've never seen her so sad.
What? Mayuri was crying? I could tell that something bad was going on. When she saw my shock, Maho looked over at the phone too. She was crying? What happened?
I don't know. I just happened to run into her, so I said hi. And she was crying. I was really surprised, but when I asked what was going on, she was really upset. She said that it was her fault Marcus Karisu had died, and that's why you were suffering. She said she should have died instead, and then she ran away. I ran after her, but I lost her.
So, Mayuri, it seems, was around and heard everything. That's my theory here.
What do I do, Akabe? What do I do?
だって
What? I looked at Maho.
まさか聞かれてたのか今の話
Did she hear that?
そういえば
Come to think of it, Daru had come out of the shower at some point and was standing right behind me.
オカリンがラボに来るって知らせてくれたのマユシだ
It was Mayashi who told me you were coming into the lab.
マユシもここに向かってる途中だって言ってた
She said she was coming here too.
Then that meant there was a good chance she did.
そんな
Oh no. I felt like my knees were going to give out. Mayuri existed in this world line because of Makise's sacrifice. And that was the one thing that Mayuri could never find out. Me, Daru, Suzuha, Faris, Maho, everyone who knew the truth had kept it from her. I needed to find her. I needed to find Mayuri. I couldn't let her be alone right now.
Her grandma's grave. That's the most likely place where they'll find her.
Damn it! I ran out of the lab.
And ironically, Snowbather, just as you come in and ask if I'm doing a longer stream, that is actually where I'm going to be calling it for tonight. Hate me in the comments if you must. So, it seems that we've had a major implosion of the group, and all of a sudden, a truth that was never meant to be told has come out. And we're going to find out what the fallout from this is going to be on Sunday evening, when I am back at 8 PM GMT for more Steins Gate 0. Until then, thank you all very much for watching, and good night.